Chapter 590. Getting a gun from any gangster leader was not a difficult task at all. Therefore, in an instant, he turned his head to look at Song Huawu, only to be greeted with a kick from Xiao Chen. Although the kick did not cause any harm to him, it made his body hit the body of the first-floor martial rider. Instantly, the true samadhi fire began to spread on his body. Ouch! He had never expected such a terrifying flame to exist. Only when he was truly engulfed in flames did he understand why the first-floor martial rider had not extinguished the flames on his body. Instead, the flames were burning even more vigorously. Both of them kept rolling on the ground and screaming. However, the momentum of the first-floor martial rider was getting weaker and weaker. The floor of the room was made of gorgeous marble, but it would not burn. Xiao Chen was not worried that it would burn Song Huawu. However, Xiao Chen's 3 true samadhi fires were rather large. Trying to extinguish the fire by rolling on the ground was undoubtedly a fool's dream. Xiao Chen had almost exhausted all his primordial qi to activate this ultimate move. If it was so easy to extinguish, what was the point of playing? Very soon, the first-floor martial rider could not take it anymore. Waves of burnt smell came from his body, and the third-floor martial rider was also struggling on his deathbed. The two of them had come in high spirits, thinking that killing Xiao Chen would be a piece of cake. Even taking down Song Huawu had been part of their fantasies. However, they had not expected that the moment they met, the two of them would die. Huawu, open the window. Xiao Chen smiled coldly and said to Song Huawu. At the same time, his eyes were filled with mockery and sympathy. If the two of you can survive, tell your family heads to come personally next time. Don't send you as cannon fodder. Sigh, how pitiful. The two martial riders' eyes were filled with horror. They did not know what Xiao Chen was going to do. At this moment, Song Huawu had already opened the large floor-to-ceiling windows. Xiao Chen, on the other hand, raised his leg and kicked the first-floor martial rider's body as if he was kicking a soccer ball. He was sent flying out of the window. Next was the third-layer martial rider. He was also kicked out by Xiao Chen with a whoosh. He wanted to resist, but he was unable to do so at all. Ah! 2 screams came from outside. Just as Xiao Chen went over to close the window, he heard 2 loud bangs. It was obvious that the two of them had already fallen down the building. Xiao Chen casually glanced down and saw 2 pools of blood. These 2 martial cavalry masters couldn't be any more dead. It seemed like his wish of reporting to their clan's patriarch would not come true. Sigh, how pitiful. Xiao Chen curled his lips. Xiao Chen. Song Huawu hugged Xiao Chen's waist from behind. Her body softly pressed against Xiao Chen's body. What are you doing? Xiao Chen's body stiffened. He was at a loss. Song Huawu had only been flirting with him verbally. Why did she suddenly press herself against him? I was scared to death just now. I thought the two of us were finished. Song Huawu said with a lingering fear, you don't know how those 2 people looked at me. Their eyes were filled with lust and I was too weak to do anything. They were experts at the 1st and 3rd level of the martial master realm. I'm afraid, what? Those 2 wanted to do something to you? That was too good for them. If I had known, I would have let them have a taste of the firebird and roasted chrysanthemum. After hearing this, Xiao Chen did not think much about it. Song Huawu was a girl. After being frightened, it was normal for her to find someone to hug. Coincidentally, he was her good friend. He could make her do that. Therefore, Xiao Chen patted Song Huawu's back and comforted her. It's okay. It's just a few mobs. It was rare to see someone in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau who dared to say that a martial master was a mobs. Moreover, the other party was a 3rd-floor martial master. Then hug me again, Song Huawu said. Okay, then hug. Xiaofan hugged Song Huawu from the front. The two of them hugged each other in front of the floor-to-ceiling window like a pair of romantic lovers. However, the downstairs was not so romantic. It could even be said to be filled with horror. In broad daylight, many guests of the Claremont Hotel were wandering downstairs, basking in the sun, drinking drinks, and chatting. However, who would have thought that suddenly, there would be two loud bangs? Two burning people fell from the sky and smashed into pieces. Although they fell in a green belt in front of the hotel, they were not too far away from these people. Seeing this bloody scene with their own eyes, these people all screamed and scattered. Only a few bold ones watched from afar. At this time, the security team of the Claremont Hotel immediately sent a pair of security guards. While collecting the two corpses, the manager of the Claremont Hotel, Wuxia, dialed the number of the Claremont family. Because it was an important matter, after several transfers, it was finally transferred to the head of the family's elder, Claremont. "What's wrong, Wuxia? I heard you say that something happened at the hotel. What happened?" Old Claremont said calmly, not panicking at all. "Yes," reporting to the old patriarch. "Just now, two people on fire suddenly fell from upstairs and landed on the lawn in front of the hotel. They were smashed into pieces and blood was everywhere. It was very scary. What do you think we should do about this?" Wuxia said hurriedly, "The security team has sealed off the vicinity of the hotel and temporarily restricted guests from checking out and leaving." "Oh, there's no need to restrict them. I know what's going on." Old Claremont scolded Vikings in his heart. Didn't he know that making a move in the hotel would affect the reputation of the Claremont family? It would be fine if it was an ordinary hotel, but the key thing was that this hotel was his family's. What's more, they even made it so scary. Who did Vikings send to do it? That's good. We'll keep the corpses first and then restore order in the hotel? Wuxia asked. Yes, I'll send someone to take over the two corpses, old Claremont said. All right, Wuxia hurriedly replied. After hanging up the phone, old Claremont immediately called for a family meeting. To everyone's bewilderment, he severely criticized Vikings. Vikings, why don't you consider the consequences of your actions? Just throw those two people on fire from the window of the hotel. There are guests downstairs. Even if there is a green belt below, what if they accidentally hurt the guests? And do you know how much your actions will affect the reputation of the Claremont family? Vikings was a little puzzled. Patriarch, the people I sent haven't replied yet? And I also told the two of them not to be too ostentatious. Patriarch, I think it's better to wait for those two people to come back and ask them about the situation. After all, Vikings didn't go. Maybe there was an emergency at that time? The great elder said, just now, you also mentioned that they were on fire. Our people shouldn't burn others randomly. I think it's possible that those two people were not strong enough, so they wanted to self-immolate and perish together. That's why our people were afraid of burning the hotel, so they threw them out of the window? Old Claremont thought about it. The great elder did make sense, and his goal of suppressing Vikings had been achieved. Regardless of whether that was the case or not, Vikings was responsible. So he said, that's true, but Vikings still failed in his duty. How about this, Vikings, quickly contact the two people you sent out and ask them what happened. Yes, Patriarch. Vikings nodded and dialed the phone number of the two military jockeys. In the hotel room where the corpses were stored, the deputy captain of the security team was guarding it. Suddenly, a phone rang from the corpse. It turned out to be a phone call from the third-floor military jockey. The phones carried by the martial artists of the Claremont family were all triple-proof phones made of special materials. They were fireproof, waterproof, and resistant to falling. Before the Samadhi true fire on the third-floor military jockey could spread, he was kicked off by Xiaofan and fell to his death. Otherwise, even a triple-proof phone would not have been able to escape the Samadhi true fire. The deputy captain of the security team was shocked. He quickly walked over and took out the phone, but he was stunned. Wasn't this a custom-made phone from the Claryman family? As the deputy captain of the security team, he also used such a phone. If it were an ordinary phone, he would not have picked it up, but, not only was this phone a custom-made phone from the Claryman family, but the caller ID was actually young Master Vikings. Seeing this, the deputy captain of the security team quickly picked up the phone. "Hello, young Master Vikings. Where are you? Why aren't you back yet? Why doesn't the voice sound right? Who are you?" Vikings was halfway through his sentence when he suddenly realized that the voice was not quite right. It was not the voice of a level 3 martial rider, so he quickly asked. "Young Master Vikings, I am the deputy captain of the security team of the Claryman Hotel." The deputy captain of the security team said quickly. "Oh? Why are you answering the phone? Where's the level 3 martial rider?" Vikings asked. "What level 3 martial rider? Are they our Claryman family's guards?" The deputy captain of the security team asked curiously. "Where did you get your phone from?" Vikings asked quickly. "On top of one of the corpses." The deputy captain of the security team replied. "Corpses? Did those two outsiders snatch the martial rider's phone?" Vikings asked curiously. "I don't know." The deputy captain of the security team was also confused. "By the way, are those two corpses a man and a woman?" Suddenly, Vikings thought of a terrible possibility. Although he could not believe it, he still asked. "No, judging from their physical characteristics, they should be male corpses." "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" the deputy captain of the security team asked. Chapter 591. Vikings suppressed his anger and said, "If you want to look for the Claryman family, you can look for me. I can talk to you. Don't be impulsive." Vikings quickly waved his hand and said, "We are here to find out the other party's background and intentions. Since the other party has the ability to kill two of us, it means that they are not weak." "I don't understand. Speak in Great Xia or English," Xiaofan said. "Alright, in that case, let Vikings bring 2 Claryman warriors." Old Claryman made the final decision. Vikings was a little annoyed, but when he thought of the other party's strength, he held it in and said, "I am Vikings, the third in-line heir of the Claryman family." Chapter 592. Could they be twins? He waved in the direction of Xiaofan. Xiaofan walked over with Song Huawu and sat in front of Vikings. He picked up the menu on the table and waved to the waiter on the side. "Waiter, order." Vikings was a little depressed. "I, the host, am here. You want to order without even greeting me? How rude." However, he could not fall out with Xiaofan because of such a small matter. He could only say the same. "Mr. Xiaochang, take a look at what you want to eat. You can order anything you want." "Bullshit," Xiaofan said in a bad mood. Then, he took the menu and ordered everything that was expensive to the waiter. He ordered a whole bunch of dishes. Vikings was a little speechless, but he did not say anything. This hotel belonged to the Claryman family. This food was nothing. When Xiaofan finished ordering, he said, "Let me introduce myself. There's no need for introductions. Vikings? Tell me what you want." Xiaofan waved his hand and interrupted him. Being interrupted by Xiaofan again, Vikings was a little depressed. However, he still said, "Okay, the 2 military jockeys of our family were killed by you, right? Are you here to get revenge for them?" Xiaofan asked. "Of course not. I'm here to negotiate this time. However, don't think that we're afraid of you." As he spoke, Vikings waved his hand. The two military jockeys beside him revealed their strength as a level 3 and level 4 martial master. Oh, a level 3 and a level 4 martial master. Are you here to scare me? Xiaoqun said as he drank his juice. This. Seeing that Xiaoqun was not afraid at all and was even drinking his juice leisurely, Vikings was a little timid. Could it be that Xiaoqun was very powerful? Was he confident that he could kill these two military jockeys? Otherwise, why would he have such an expression? In fact, Xiaoqun did not have any confidence, but he could not show his fear. As long as he showed fear, the other party would definitely attack him. He had only been able to kill those two martial cavalry masters because of luck. It was no problem for Xiaoqun to kill the first-layer martial rider, but the third-layer martial rider, if it wasn't for his pistol exploding and blowing off one of his hands, Xiaoqun wouldn't have been able to kill him so easily. Not to mention, there was now a third-layer and a fourth-layer martial rider. Xiaoqun was no match for them at all, but he purposely acted very mysterious, so Vikings definitely wouldn't dare to act rashly. After all, he didn't know how the two martial riders died at that time. Hurry up and say what you want to say, Xiaoqun said. Just as Vikings was about to speak, the food that Xiaoqun ordered was served. Then, Xiaoqun waved his hand and said, "Okay, no need to say anything. Wait until I finish eating." This. Vikings was about to explode. Xiaoqun ignored him and ate the food in big mouthfuls. He kept commenting on the food and gave it to Song Huawu to taste. Seeing the two of them showing off their affection, Vikings suppressed his anger and didn't explode. He was the third in line to be the heir not because he was stupid. Looking at Xiaoqun and Song Huawu's current appearance, they weren't injured at all. In other words, they easily and happily killed the two military jockeys. This meant that Xiaoqun could also kill the two current military jockeys and himself. Vikings didn't dare to take the risk. Whether he and the two jockeys died or he survived, it would be fatal for him. If these two people died, even if he survived, it would be over. Or rather, the Vikings' family would be finished. Without the military jockeys, how could they have their current glory? He would also be disqualified as the heir. So, after weighing the pros and cons, he waited for Xiaoqun to finish eating. Although the two jockeys beside him were angry, they also knew that Xiaoqun was not a good person after seeing that Xiaoqun killed the two previous jockeys without suffering any injuries. Finally, Xiaoqun and Song Huawu finished eating. Xiaoqun wiped his mouth and burped. He squinted at Vikings and said, "You can speak now." "Speak." "Sir, what brings you to Lego Town?" Vikings said. "If I'm not mistaken, you are all from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, right?" "The first thing is to get back the encrypted chip," Xiaoqun said. "I'm afraid I can't comply with that. Every profession has its rules. The chip is now in our hands. Although I snatched it back, I have already handed it over to the family. I have no right to take it back to you," Vikings said. "What can you do?" Xiaoqun asked. "I just want to say that we should mind our own business. The two of you can't do anything to my family, and it's impossible to snatch it. I think it's better to go back as soon as possible. I snatched the chip and injured your girlfriend, Song Huawu, but you also killed two of the Clariman family's military jockeys. Isn't that even?" Vikings said. "Even? You're really naive." Xiaoqun curled his lips. "I've read a book called Pure and Ambiguous. I think you're very silly and naive. So, you don't want to agree?" Vikings' expression changed. "The second thing is to avenge Song Huawu," Xiaoqun said without answering the question. Vikings was stunned. He saw a fireball coming at him, and his whole body burned in an instant. Before he could say anything, he turned into a pile of ashes. His strength was just that of a warrior, a military knight. Under Xiaoqun's Samadhi true fire, he had no ability to resist at all and was burned to death instantly. The two military jockeys were a little dumbfounded. What kind of martial arts technique was this? How did Vikings get burned to death without saying a word? Just in the blink of an eye. Did he turn into ashes? The two of them immediately felt a chill run down their spines. They believed that Xiao Chen was able to kill the two martial cavalry masters from before. With this kind of strength, killing two martial cavalry masters would be a piece of cake. They didn't dare to act rashly in the face of unknown things. This kind of martial arts technique was beyond their understanding. The two of them were at a loss. "Do you know why I kept you alive?" Xiao Chen asked. That move just now had happened in the blink of an eye. Furthermore, they were sitting in a corner, so there were no customers paying attention to the sudden disappearance of a person. Of course, even if they noticed, they would think that they had seen wrongly or had seen wrongly. I don't know. The two military jockeys were a little shocked and looked at each other. From their point of view, Xiao Chen dared to kill people on the spot with such a strange and terrifying method. He was certainly not afraid of them, and he even spoke to them so casually. This meant that Xiao Chen's strength should be enough to defeat the two of them. Therefore, the two of them wouldn't be stupid enough to make a move. If they died, they would have died in vain. Go back and send a message to your patriarch. Ask him to come see me quickly. Otherwise, I will destroy your Claremont family. I mean it, Xiao Chen said lightly. Don't doubt me. You can try. Okay, we will bring your message back. The two military jockeys nodded and responded. All right, I won't keep you. When you leave, settle the bill. Xiao Chen waved his hand. Okay. The two military jockeys responded again and got up to leave. They didn't want to stay a minute longer. This person was too scary. After the two people left, Song Huawu was still stunned and at a loss. That Vikings was killed by you? Yes, he dared to blow you up. I was already very kind to him by not torturing him before killing him. Xiao Chen said. There are too many people here, so I couldn't torture him. Otherwise, he would have died even more miserably. Gosh. Song Huawu's heart was filled with sweetness. Xiao Chen was avenging her. Did Xiao Chen care a lot about her? Yes, it must be. He just knew that he couldn't stay in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau for long, and he was afraid of implicating her, so he didn't respond. Continue eating. You don't say. The food in this hotel is really delicious, Xiao Chen said. You're still in the mood to eat? Those two military jockeys were scared off by you. If they go home and bring more masters, what will you do? Song Huawu was a little worried. Let's not talk about anything else. Even if a large group of martial artists besieged you, it would be hard enough. Oh, no. Xiao Chen smiled. The Claremont family didn't have the guts to be that crazy. Which family didn't use all their strength when facing a mortal enemy? He was just an outsider now, and he hadn't even attacked the Claremont family yet. Why would they send all their masters? In fact, the Claremont family really couldn't. The two military jockeys hurried back to the Claremont family and reported the news of Viking's death, as well as the words that Xiao Chen had asked them to bring. Old Claremont, the Great Elder, and the others were dumbfounded on the spot. Although Old Claremont always suppressed Vikings, he didn't want him to die. This person was still very smart. When he grew up, even if he didn't become the patriarch, he would become an elder and be a helper to Chiao Kelly. But he was dead just like that? The Great Elder immediately burst into tears. He hadn't expected that Vikings would be killed just because he went to negotiate. Moreover, he heard that it was a very strange martial arts technique. It was just a fireball, and he turned into ashes in an instant. Chiao Kelly, the second elder, and the third elder also had very complicated feelings. For a moment, they didn't know how to deal with it. Call for a family meeting. We must discuss a countermeasure. Old Clarryman broke the silence and said with a sorrowful expression, the other party is very powerful. We must adjust our previous strategy and take it seriously. Everyone nodded and entered the family meeting room. After sitting down, the great elder said with a livid expression, Patriarch, the other party is too despicable. I think the Clarryman family must fight back. Great elder, everyone wants to fight back, but how do we fight back? Are you going to fight back? Old Clarryman was still clear-headed at this moment. 2 military jockeys were killed by him. 2 military jockeys were scared back by him. Vikings was also killed by him. Tell me, who can kill him? Chapter 593. This. After hearing this, the great elder's heart suddenly trembled, and he sobered up. He naturally knew the other party's strength. Old Clarman was right. Who could deal with them now? Although the Clarman family was indeed very powerful in Lego Town, they were somewhat powerless in the face of a powerful individual like Xiao Chen who did not play by the rules. At this time, the third elder, who was Viking's father, looked carefully at Old Clarman and asked respectfully, Patriarch, doesn't our family have a great elder in the sanctuary? Sanctuary? After Old Clarryman heard this, his gaze suddenly froze. He fixed his gaze on third elder's face, and his tone became gloomy and cold. There was an indescribable chill in it. Third elder, you have to be clear about this. If we ask the Grand Supreme Elder to act because of this, will we be scolded? The Great Elder said that we can only look for him when the family's survival is at stake. Now, is it the survival of the family? But Vikings has been killed, and we are also being threatened. We still don't dare to fight back. Isn't this the survival of the family? The third elder lowered his head, feeling wronged. Vikings has been killed? That's because he was causing trouble outside, and they came looking for him. How is this a survival of the family? Old Clarman's expression was a little ugly. We snatched the other party's encryption chip. Isn't it normal for them to come looking for us? It's actually very simple to solve this matter. Either we return the chip to them, and the two of them will definitely leave. We don't even need to do anything. It's not a survival of the family at all. If we use this reason to alarm the Great Elder, who will bear the responsibility if he blames us? This. But that encryption chip was exchanged with Viking's life. If we just hand it over, it's really. Besides, it's not good for the Clarman family's reputation. When the third elder heard Old Clarman's tone, he knew that there was nothing to think about, but he still tried his best to fight for it. Then what do you think we should do? Do you have a better idea? After listening to the third elder's words, the second elder couldn't help but frown. In fact, he also knew that the third elder didn't want to compromise. Otherwise, Vikings would have died in vain. But in fact, the second elder also didn't want to go to war. It was a fact that the other party was stronger than him. If he continued to go against them, it would be an unwise choice. The third elder did not have much confidence in these two mysterious masters from the east. However, when he thought of his dead son, he said in a deep voice, I think we can't compromise on this matter, but we can also not go against them head-on. We can give them an ultimatum and ask them to leave the Clarryman Hotel within a time limit. Otherwise, we will take measures. Take measures? What measures have you taken? Old Clarryman asked curiously, do you have anything that can threaten the other party? Yes. The third elder nodded his head and said, we made a mistake before. We thought that our cavalry masters were no match for them, and so did I. I even wanted to go to the sanctuary to ask the Supreme Elder to come back. But in fact, we can solve it ourselves. Don't forget what our family does, we have firearms. Oh? What do you mean? Old Clarryman had a general understanding. If they leave, then so be it. In the future, we won't interfere with each other's business, and our family's reputation will still be there. But if they don't leave, we will be ruthless and chase away all the guests of the Claremont Hotel. Then, we will blow up the hotel with a few rocket launchers. I don't believe that no matter how powerful they are, they won't be afraid of guns. The third elder said, I heard that one of the female agents was injured by Vikings. The reason why he can enter and exit the research base like it's on flat ground is also because of the intensity of the firearms. Well, that's a good idea. Then, the third elder will be responsible for this matter on behalf of the Claremont family. Old Claremont nodded. It was worth it to save face for a hotel, so he agreed. Okay, Chief. I'll send them an ultimatum now. When the third elder heard that old Claremont had agreed, he immediately went to write the ultimatum. In his opinion, he did not want Xiaofan to move away. The more stubborn Xiaofan was, the more he could blow up the hotel and kill these two people to avenge Vikings. He did not want these two people to leave with their tails between their legs. Therefore, after the third elder went back, he racked his brains to write an ultimatum. The words in it were harsh. His purpose was very simple. He wanted to provoke Xiaofan and make Xiaofan not leave so that he could carry out his next move. The ultimatum was full of sarcasm. After he was done, the third elder asked the family disciples to send it to the Claremont Hotel, and then asked the waiter to send it to Xiaofan's room. Dang dang dang. Not long after Xiaofan returned to his room after his meal, there was a knock on the door. However, this time, Xiaofan did not let Song Huawu open the door. Instead, he walked over and looked out through the peephole. He saw a person outside the door dressed as a waiter. Xiaofan had seen this waiter before. He was indeed from this floor, so Xiaofan opened the door. Hello, sir. Someone sent you a letter and asked me to deliver it, the waiter said. The other party said that this is the ultimatum from the Claremont family. Please take a look. Oh. Xiaofan took the letter, opened it, and glanced at it. Then, he said, wait, don't go yet. Okay. Is there anything else, sir? The waiter asked quickly. I'll reply to them now. You can take it back for me. As Xiaofan spoke, he took out the notebook on the shelf at the door and wrote 3 big words on it. I can't understand it. Okay. The waiter did not understand what Xiaofan wrote, but he still nodded and took the letter away. Then, sir, I'll take my leave first. Oh, go ahead, Xiaofan said in English. The waiter left. Soon, the Claremont family received Xiaofan's reply. Looking at the 3 big words on the letter, the third elder was so angry that his teeth itched. He did not understand the great Xia language, but his subordinates nearby did. When he understood the meaning of these 3 words, he was furious. However, he still asked someone to write a new letter in English and send it to Xiaofan again. There was no need to be afraid of trouble for this kind of thing. Xiaofan, what kind of letter did I send you just now? Why did you return it without reading it? Song Huawu asked curiously after the waiter left. Oh, who knows? Who cares what it is? We have to be tough. The tougher we are, the more afraid the other party will be. If they take his crappy letter and ask you to translate it, wouldn't that make us look weak? Xiaofan said indifferently. Okay. Song Huawu nodded. The two of them did not speak much before the waiter came again. It had to be said that the third elder was quite efficient. Sir, I'm here to send you a letter again. This time, it's written in English. Take a look. The waiter handed the letter to Xiaofan. Oh, let me see. Xiaofan took the letter and looked at it. The entire letter was filled with threats without substance. The key was that if Xiaofan left now, everyone would live in peace and mind their own business. However, if he did not leave, they would take measures and prepare to use firearms to blow up Xiaofan. Xiaofan stared. This Claremont family is quite tough, huh? Xiaofan replied directly, okay, I'll give you 3 days. If you don't hand over the encrypted chip, I will take coercive measures. After writing, Xiaofan handed it to the waiter and asked him to take it back. This time, Song Huawu also read the letter. Seeing that Xiaofan was still so tough, she could not help but be a little worried. They won't really use firearms, right? If that's the case, won't we be no match for them? So I won't give them a chance. I'll kill them first, Xiaofan said. You? Kill them? A family? Song Huawu was a little shocked and amazed. Is that true? You'll know when you see it. Xiaofan smiled mysteriously. Soon, the third elder received a reply from Xiaofan. This time, when he saw Xiaofan's reply, he smiled coldly. Not only was he not angry, but he was also very happy. This Xiaofan had been angered by him. It seemed that he would not leave the Claremont Hotel. This was great. He could blow him up directly. Thinking of this, the third elder directly replied to Xiaofan and told Xiaofan to leave within 5 days. If he did not leave, then he could not blame the Claremont family for being rude. The reason why it was 5 days instead of 3 was to show the Claremont family's magnanimity. Secondly, it was actually to leave a buffer period. They would use 5 days to empty the internal facilities of the hotel and let the guests check out. In the Claremont hotel system, the longest renewal period was 4 days. At that time, even if he wanted to renew, the hotel could refuse. However, it was not good to break the contract and let the guests leave. This had an impact on the Claremont family's reputation because most of the people who came here were discussing business with the Claremont family. It was not good to offend the Claremont family directly. After all this was done, the third elder went to report to Old Claremont. Old Claremont looked at Xiaofan's reply and could not help but frown. Third elder, he said that if we don't give him the encrypted chip in 3 days, he will take measures against us. Why do I keep feeling uneasy? Will something happen? This shouldn't be, right? It's just the 2 of them. No matter how powerful they are, they can't possibly come to our Claremont family, right? You have to know that our family has a lot of firearms. If he dares to come, I guarantee that he won't be able to return. It won't even take 5 days, and we won't have to destroy the building. The third elder said. Chapter 594. Well, that's true. However, pass down the order for the children and important figures of the family not to go out for the next few days. I'm afraid that the other party will take advantage of this. Old Claremont said. Also, regardless of whether the other party is threatening us or really going to attack us, you have to quickly set up some of the family's firearms. When they break in, you must ensure that they will not be able to return. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. Third elder immediately nodded in response. Old Claremont was right. It was better to be careful and take complete countermeasures. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. The Claremont family did not send any more letters to Xiaofan, nor did they hand over the encrypted chip. It seems that I can only take coercive measures. Xiaofan sighed with some regret. This family is going to be destroyed. It's really sad. Do you really want to destroy the Claremont family? How are you going to do it? Song Huawu was a little surprised. She did not know how Xiaofan could be so confident. Just wait and watch the show. As Xiaofan spoke, he opened the window of the room, then sat cross-legged on the bed and began to prepare. Xiaofan wanted to condense a few samadhi true fireballs, which consumed more vitality. Moreover, 1 fireball was fine, but a few would take a certain amount of time. In particular, Xiaofan had to wrap the samadhi true fireballs with vitality so that they would not fuse together. Only when he used them would the vitality break open and burn on a large scale. After spending about an afternoon, Xiaochen successfully condensed 10 fireballs. Then, he called out to the divine sense space, "Little demonin, come out and do something." "Master, I'm coming." And Xiaoma flew out. "I'll give you 10 fireballs. Take them to the Claryman family and start with the arsenal and places with firearms. You can throw the rest evenly in the Claryman family's house," Xiaochen said. "Okay." And Xiaoma was naturally not afraid of the Samadhi true fire. It was refined by the Samadhi true fire. After receiving the fireball, and Xiaoma happily hugged the fireball and flew out of the window in the dark of the night. Sigh, when will I be able to leave this kid and work alone? To think that I, old demon fire wolf, was such a powerful existence, but now I have become a laborer, really. And Xiaoma thought as he flew, but he also knew that he could not leave Xiaochen now. He had to rely on the nourishment in Xiaochen's spiritual sense space to survive. Xiaochen controlled his spirit and could destroy him at any time. Flying to the top of the Claryman family's house, and Xiaoma scouted a few times according to the map he had seen before. He was not in a hurry to make a move. This was his first time doing a mission on his own. He had to leave a good impression on Xiaochen. Only capable subordinates would be appreciated. If he was useless, he suspected that Xiaochen might kill him directly. After a few rounds of reconnaissance, and Xiaoma was amused. The entire underground of the Claryman family was a huge arms warehouse. Of course, with the defense of the arms warehouse, it was absolutely impossible to detonate it under normal circumstances. However, Xiaoma was a spirit and could come and go unhindered. He placed the true Samadhi fireball in a secret place. He patrolled back and forth a few times, then chuckled and began to act. Boom! 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 The first explosion site was the core of the Claryman family's power. It was the residence of old Claryman, the Great Elder, the Second Elder, and the Third Elder. This area was located in the middle of the Claryman family. And Xiaoma ignited the true Samadhi fire in the middle of the arms warehouse. After igniting it, Xiaoma ran away. He was a spirit and was not even afraid of the true Samadhi fire. Why would he be afraid of the explosion of gunpowder? It would not cause him any harm at all. He shuttled back and forth and began to throw the true Samadhi fireball to every corner of the Claryman family. In an instant, the Claryman family was on fire and the sound of explosions was endless. Originally, the Claryman family would not have been destroyed so easily. However, in order to blow up the building and defend the family, they had deliberately mobilized a lot of explosives and weapons from the outside and temporarily stored them in the house. In the end, it was a tragedy. All the core forces of the Claryman family were annihilated in the explosion. Even the servants and disciples were not spared. There were too many flammable and explosive items in the family. Especially under the burning of the true Samadhi fire, it was indestructible. The iron shell and steel shell bombs and bullets were also directly ignited and exploded. After doing all this, Xiaoma turned to the secret room where the encrypted chip was stored with satisfaction. He had already scouted this secret room and confirmed that the encrypted chip was here. Therefore, he deliberately took a detour here. This place had not been completely destroyed, but the house had collapsed. He quickly found the encrypted chip and then left the Claryman family in a blaze of fire. He went back to report to Xiaochen. And Little Demon quickly returned to the hotel room. Before that, Song Huawu had already felt the powerful aura of the explosion. At this moment, even the hotel felt a slight earthquake. "You're back?" Xiaochen glanced at Xiaoma and asked lightly. "Yes, master, I didn't let you down. It's done. This is the encrypted chip." And Xiaoma carefully handed the encrypted chip to Xiaochen like he was presenting a treasure. "Well, you did well. Go back. It seems that you still have some use," Xiaochen said. "Yes, master." And Xiaoma went back with a whoosh. He thought to himself, master really thinks that I'm useless. Fortunately, I showed my prowess once. Otherwise, I'd be screwed. This master is moody and kills without batting an eye. He might even kill me. Just now. Song Huawu already knew what an Xiaoma was. Although she did not know the specifics, she knew that he was one of Xiao Chen's more magical subordinates. Those explosions were, that's right. I guess the Claremont family is gone. Xiao Chen nodded and said. As soon as Xiao Chen finished speaking, sirens could be heard in the town. Police cars and fire trucks were quickly heading to the Claremont family, but it was useless for them to go. Under the Samadhi true fire, nothing would be left. Xiao Chen, you're actually so powerful? You can destroy a family with just one subordinate? Then why are you afraid of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Song Huawu was a little shocked. I can't burn the Supernatural Investigation Bureau too, right? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Besides, this is also the advantage of the Claremont family's arsenal. If they didn't have the arsenal, there would be no effect. I asked an Xiaoma to burn their arsenal, and they were all wiped out. Otherwise, wouldn't they have run when they saw the fire? I see. Song Huawu nodded. But I feel that you seem very strong, that's why I'm called Xiao Chang. Xiao Chen said. Oh, then are you also very strong in bed? Song Huawu suddenly asked. Pfft. Xiao Chen looked at Song Huawu and didn't know what to say. Huawu, although we are quite good, we can't always joke around like this. What if it turns out to be true? I don't think you dare to, Song Huawu said. Alright, let's pack up and leave this place quickly. Xiao Chen had obtained the encrypted chip. The mission was completed, so he naturally wouldn't stay here any longer. We will leave by boat tomorrow. Song Huawu nodded and said, do you need to call Deputy Bureau Chief Xia to report the situation? I'll do it. Xiao Chen took out his cell phone and was about to make the call. However, just as he took out his cell phone, it rang. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Xiao Chen picked up the phone in surprise. The caller was Xia Zhili. Young Jiannan, you and Huawu did well this time, didn't you? You were the one who blew up the Claremont family, right? You guys are really amazing, and you didn't let us down. Xia Zhili's hearty laughter came from the other side of the phone. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, how did you know? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. It had only been less than an hour, and Xia Zhili already knew about it. He still had a news channel here. This is the era of the internet. We also have people monitoring the situation on your side. The Claremont family was blown up, so naturally, someone posted it on the internet. It was faster than the news. Xia Zhili smiled and said, Jiannan, you're not bad. I didn't expect you to be able to get some weapons in an unfamiliar place and blow up the Claremont family. It was just a fluke. The Claremont family is in the arms business. We disguised ourselves as other merchants and bought from them, Xiao Chen said perfunctorily. Wonderful, too wonderful. Xia Zhili said. This time, in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, let's see who still dares to question me. I will add this great credit to my report. You guys have done a great job this time. This is also a deterrent to other forces who covet our research base. Let them see how powerful the agents of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau are. They will be punished no matter how far they are to steal our research data. It's all thanks to Deputy Bureau Chief Xia's nurturing. Xiao Chen said quickly. Jiannan, the credit this time will not go unnoticed. Xia Zhili said. As long as the opportunity is right, I will suggest that you be promoted to Team B's deputy team leader to take over. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Xiao Chen said this, but he was depressed in his heart. When could he cancel the wanted order? Damn, this credit did not benefit him at all, because he would eventually have to leave this identity. In the end, it would benefit that old man Xia Zhili. Okay, you guys pack up and come back. By the way, did you get the encryption chip or did you destroy it? Xia Zhili asked. I got it, Xiaochen said. Very good. This is another great credit. Xia Zhili said happily. There is only one copy of this chip. Although destroying it will prevent it from leaking, we won't have it for ourselves. It's great that you can get the chip back. Chapter 595. It was just a fluke. Xiaochen did not want to talk about the details. Talking too much would lead to mistakes. Okay, I'll teach you Qinggong when I get back. Xia Zhili hung up the phone. Xiaochen shook his head and said to Song Huawu, that old thing wants me to be the deputy team leader of Team B. I'll try to get you the position of team leader of Team C. Ah, me? Song Huawu was stunned. Can I? By the way, why don't you think of a way to cancel the wanted order? I tried once before, but that old thing did not agree. If I continue to talk about this, he will probably be suspicious. I have to find an opportunity. Xiaochen was also very depressed and had a headache. However, it was also a good thing to be able to go to Team B. Team B had much more authority than Team C. They could even request to read some internal files of the warrior guild. Xiaochen wanted to see what kind of trial mission his father had done that caused him to be completely annihilated. This file had always been sealed. At that time, the Xiao family had asked many times, but they had not been able to access it. Even the president of the warrior guild in Songning had lost this authority. There must have been a big force behind the scenes. Otherwise, it would not have happened. Although the Claremont family was powerful in this area, it would also attract the hatred of other families and ordinary people in the town. Therefore, his death did not cause any big waves. Even the second largest family nearby came the next day. Under their control and intervention, the Claremont family's incident was turned into an explosion caused by their own family's arsenal being improperly taken care of. They had no one to blame but themselves. As for who the real murderer behind the scenes was, not only did this family not seek revenge, but they were also secretly grateful. If it were not for this person, the Claremont family would not have been completely annihilated, and their family would not have been able to rise to power. However, what surprised Xiaochen was that the Claremont Hotel did not become chaotic because of this. It seemed to have been controlled by the new family. This was because when Xiaochen and Song Huawu left, they still had to go through the checkout procedures and did not leave directly. However, this wasn't what Xiaochen was concerned about. After checking out, Xiaochen and Song Huawu took a boat back to the Lagos Sea and prepared to return to Great Xiaolan City. The journey was uneventful. When Xiaochen and Song Huawu left Lan City Airport, they saw that Xia Shibin was already waiting there. When he saw them coming out, he immediately came over to welcome them. Leader Yang, you're back. Congratulations. Well, what's the matter? Xiaochen was surprised to see Xia Shibin here. Deputy Director Xia is here and is at the research base. He asked me to pick you up and rush over immediately. Xia Shibin said. Alright, let's go. Xiaochen nodded and left the airport with Xia Shibin. They got into a business car and went to the research base together. The current research base was deserted. The researchers were temporarily on vacation, so other than the patrolling security guards, no one else was here. On the way to the conference room in the main building of the office building, they pushed the door open and saw Xia Zili sitting in the main seat. Beside him was a middle-aged man with a kind face and a pair of eyes that looked like an old pedant. However, upon closer inspection, he looked somewhat similar to Grandpa Su. Jiannan, you're back. That's great. Xia Zili stood up and walked over enthusiastically. This time, Xiaochen had made a great contribution to him, so he naturally had to express his gratitude. Deputy Director Xia, this is all my duty. You don't have to do this. Xiao Chen said politely. This must be Mr. Xiao Chang. I've heard about you from my daughter, Wuxia. Thank you so much this time. The middle-aged man also came over and said enthusiastically, let me introduce myself. I'm the person in charge of the research base, Su Inda. Previously, I troubled you to take care of my daughter and parents. Then, I troubled you to go all the way to Lego Town to snatch the encrypted chip back. I really don't know how to thank you. Professor Su, you're too serious. Xiao Chen smiled. It's nothing serious. However, I'm just a professor in the research base. There's nothing I can thank you for. Why don't I marry my daughter to you? Su Inda looked at Xiao Chen with a smile. Pfft. Xiao Chen coughed violently. I'm just joking. I know that you and Sour are close. In the future, even after this mission is over, you have to visit my house often. My parents and Wuxia's best friend Sour are all looking forward to your visit. Su Inda said with a smile. Xiao Chen was shocked and wiped his sweat. This Su Inda's words were really. He didn't sound like a pedant at all. He actually knew how to joke around. Xia Zhili laughed and said, Jiannan, it's almost the new year. I'll give you a holiday. You can go back to your family in Songning. There's already some progress on what I promised you. Don't worry. After the new year, it will definitely be in place. Thank you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, for your guidance. Xiao Chen nodded. He didn't care about his promotion at all. However, the fact that he could return to Songning made Xiao Chen a little excited. He hadn't gone back for a long time. I think Hua cooperates well with you. This time, she will also go back with you. Xia Zhili said with a smile. He could already see that this time, Song Huawu's attitude towards Xiao Chen was a little different. Of course, Song Huawu didn't deliberately hide it. She appeared very natural. Therefore, Xia Zhili thought that the two of them developed feelings for each other during the mission together. He was also very happy. Song Huawu had never been on his side. If Yang Jiannan took care of her, then Song Huawu would take over as the team leader of Team C. Although he would improve his ranking and become the deputy bureau chief in charge of Team B, he would still have great authority and control over Team C. He was a person who was greedy for power. Therefore, the situation in front of him made him very happy. He even wanted to remove the deputy team leader who was in charge of Team C. At noon, Xia Zhili held a celebration banquet. Xiao Chen, Song Huawu, and Xia Shibin all attended. After the meal, Xia Zhili also had to go back. There were many things to do before the new year, and he still had to coordinate the promotion. On the other hand, Xiao Chen returned to his rented place. He planned to pack up and return the house. Song Huawu and Xia Shibin also had to pack up their things at the research base. Everyone agreed to meet at Xiao Chen's building that night and return to Songning City together. Looking at the familiar house, although he hadn't lived in it for long, many things had happened. He got to know Su Wuxia and Tian Souring, and he met Wang Fangtian again. However, he still had to leave. When he went upstairs, Xiao Chen was surprised to find two people standing in front of his house. It was Su Wuxia and Tian Souring. Why are you guys here? Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. Xiao Chang, my dad said that you're back and that you're leaving. Souring dragged me back from school because he wanted to see you. Su Wuxia explained. Xiao Chang, you're leaving just like that? What if Sister Souring misses you? Tian Souring was bold. He walked over and patted Xiao Chen. You don't know this. After you confessed to Sister Souring, all the students in school were waiting for you to come back. In the end, you left. Sister Souring is so embarrassed. She just got a boyfriend and then disappeared. Ahem. I have a mission to complete. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. And this time, I'm going back to Songning. Ah, you're leaving already. Tian Souring was a little disappointed. I thought you could come back to continue school. Everything here is over. Naturally, I can't stay here anymore, Xiaochen said. Alright, Souring. Xiaochang has his own things to do. Don't pester him anymore. Moreover, didn't you just want to experience the feeling of being chased? Now that you've experienced it, don't push your luck. Su Chuxia said, be careful not to fall into it. Aya, how is that possible? Sister Souring just hasn't had enough fun. Tian Souring's eyes suddenly lit up. Xiaochang, why don't we have an online relationship? Is that okay? Let's meet in Weixin. Okay, but I might not be able to log into Weixin anymore. I don't know what the next mission will be like. Xiaochen explained. In fact, he didn't want Tian Souring to be too close to him. Xiaochen had a bad feeling that his identity might be exposed. Although this was something that would happen sooner or later, this feeling was very strong. In Xiaochen's opinion, perhaps because of his promotion, he couldn't wear Xiaochang's mask anymore. At that time, there might be a problem with the mask. However, even though he knew that there might be a problem, there was nothing Xiaochen could do. The mask could fool people's eyes, but it couldn't fool the camera. Okay, then before we leave, Sister Souring will let you hug me, Tian Souring said with her eyes closed. Depressed was slightly stunned, but he still reached out and hugged Tian Souring. In fact, he felt that Tian Souring's personality wasn't bad. Although she always called herself Sister Souring, she was actually a very good girl. On the surface, she seemed to be a bit of a gold digger, but in reality, that wasn't the case at all. There were many rich people in New Moon Academy. If Tian Souring liked money so much, she would have become someone else's plaything long ago. She wouldn't have waited for Xiaochen to appear. Tian Souring probably also knew that it was impossible for her and Xiaochen to be together. She just wanted to experience the feeling of being in love. However, now that they were about to separate, it was also very uncomfortable. Su Chuxia stood at the side and gently held her forehead. No matter how she looked at it, she felt that Tian Souring was a bit lost. Fortunately, Xiaochen was about to leave, and the two of them didn't have a chance to continue developing. Actually, even without the factor of Tian Souring's family, Su Chuxia didn't approve of Tian Souring and Xiaochen being together, because the two of them wouldn't end up together. She was a more rational person. Alright, Souring, we have to go back to school. Seeing that Tian Souring was clinging to Xiaochen, Su Chuxia tugged at her. Oh. Okay. Tian Souring was a bit reluctant to leave, but she still obediently let go of Xiaochen. She looked back every few steps as she left with Su Chuxia. Xiaochen took a deep breath and opened the door. He didn't know why, but at this moment, he felt empty and a little reluctant to leave. Was it because he couldn't bear to leave Tian Souring, or was it because of the life here? Chapter 596. Xiaochen didn't know either. He simply packed up his things. In fact, it wasn't much. It was just a backpack. Xiaochen locked the door and went to the agent to return the house. As for the extra rent, it didn't matter. After doing all this, Xiaochen saw Xia Shibin driving the car with Song Huawu to the community. Xiaochen got in the car, and the three of them drove to Songning. Looking at the community behind him for the last time, Xiaochen also understood that perhaps, he would never come here again in his life. The three returned to Songning City early the next morning, but Xiaochen didn't dare to return directly to Cheng Menjing's villa. Instead, he went to Song Huawu and Xia Shibin's residence. He planned to settle down first. Xiaochen, what's your plan? Back in the room, Song Huawu changed into a set of home clothes and lay on the sofa casually. She asked Xiao Chen, who was watching the news. I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little confused during this time. I don't know what to do next, but one thing is for sure. I guess my identity is going to be exposed. I can't keep wearing a mask. Xiao Chen sighed. Now, I want to take advantage of my position to quickly investigate the disappearance of my father. After that, I think I may go to find my father. I said before that I would help you investigate, but Uncle Zhao's situation is a bit complicated. We don't have enough authority. At least, we need Team B, Song Huawu nodded. But it shouldn't be that fast. Xia Shibin and I will help. We should be able to hold on for a while. I hope so. Xiao Chen nodded. He didn't want to run away without preparation. To Xiao Chen's surprise, he received a call from Xia Zhili early the next morning. His identity was now the deputy team leader of Team B of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Jiannan, I hope you don't let me down. My ranking has also been promoted. I am now the deputy bureau chief in charge of Team B. Of course, Team C will be handed over. Do you have any good candidates for Team C? Xia Zhili asked. My relationship with Huawu has been pretty good lately, and she's qualified enough. I think it shouldn't be a problem for her to be promoted to team leader of Team C. Xiao Chen knew that Xia Zhili wanted to settle everything before handing over power. However, this method made Xiao Chen speechless. Well, the leader of Team C can be Song Huawu, but what about the deputy leader? Do you have a good candidate in mind? Xia Zhili nodded. In fact, he was quite fond of Song Huawu. He just wanted to test Xiao Chen and see what he thought. Sure enough, Xiao Chen had also recommended Song Huawu. That meant that Xiao Chen had already won over Song Huawu. Thinking of this, Xia Zhili was very satisfied with Xiao Chen. He thought to himself, this young Jiannan is really good at picking up girls. In Lan City, he even picked up a girl named Tian Sour. Deputy leader, let's go with that Xiao Meng. Xia Shibin's qualifications are still not enough. If we promote him, there will probably be objections. Also, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, I think we should balance things out. If the person replacing you finds out that the entire Team C is not his people, do you think he will take the opportunity to replace you? If Huawu is replaced, it won't be good. Xiao Chen reminded. Oh. Jiannan, you're right. Xia Zhili was stunned. He was too involved in the situation to see clearly. He had already been blinded by victory. Because of the encryption chip, he had been in the limelight in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Now that he thought about it carefully, it was indeed true. If the deputy bureau chief did not have any control over Team C, he would definitely take the opportunity to cause trouble. On the contrary, if he was given the position of deputy leader, he probably would not say anything. After all, Song Huawu was previously the deputy leader. Moreover, she was one of the top deputy leaders. It was only natural for her to take over the position of leader. There was no problem, and he couldn't deny it. Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, please consider it. I was just giving you a suggestion. Xiao Chen said respectfully. All right. I'll get Xia Shibin to pick up your and Huawu's new documents in a while and send them over to you. During this period, have a good rest. There will definitely be a mission after the new year. Xia Zhili said. I understand. Xiao Chen nodded. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chen told Song Huawu about Xia Zhili's intentions. Song Huawu did not expect things to happen so quickly. Moreover, she was actually going to be the Team C leader. One had to know that there was a huge difference between a team leader and a deputy team leader. If she had the identity of a team leader, perhaps the strength of her words at the previous summit would be different. At noon, Xia Shibin returned with 2 IDs. One was Xiao Chen's and the other was Song Huawu's. It was worth mentioning that, for some unknown reason, Xiaofan had two photos on his IDs. One was of Yang Tan himself, and the other was of Xiao Chang wearing a mask. Moreover, behind Yang Jiannan's name, there was also the word Xiao Chang, in parentheses. This was a good thing. Xiao Chen was not in a hurry to take off his mask and continue to pretend to be Xiao Chang. In fact, this was because the credit this time was established by the identity of Xiao Chang. Now, the identity of Xiao Chang was even more famous than the identity of Yang Jiannan. When Xia Zhili walked to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's headquarters and mentioned Yang Jiannan, others might not know, but when he mentioned Xiao Chang, everyone knew that he was the great hero who had found the encrypted chip. In the beginning, this was a name used by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau when they announced the commendation. This was because Xiao Chang was written in Dr. Su's thank you letter. Everyone's first impression of him was Xiao Chang. Therefore, Xia Zhili, who was such a pretentious and flamboyant person, of course, would do everything possible to let everyone see his credit. Hence, he directly recorded the identity of Xiao Chang in Yang Jiannan's file. This way, Xiao Chang would become a real identity. At least there was a file. Xiao Chen looked at his documents and was somewhat surprised. This way, all his previous worries were gone. Even if he wore the Xiao Chang mask, others would think that he did not take it off because of the mission. Song Huawu grabbed Xiao Chen's documents and looked at them. When she saw Xiao Chang's photo next to it, she couldn't help but smile. It seems that your identity is confirmed. You don't have to worry about anything in the future. Yes, but so what? Xiao Chen shrugged. At most, it's another identity, but it's not my own identity. Then, do you want to date? Song Huawu asked. Date what? Xiao Chen was stunned. Date? Get lost. In the future, we'll do missions together. Song Huawu smiled. We're not in the same team anymore. How can we do missions together? Xiao Chen asked. You'll know when the time comes. Although I'm a team leader, I don't think I'll be of much use. Song Huawu shrugged and said, just like what you said just now, I'm already considered to be on your side. That means that I'm on Xia Zhili's side. The new deputy director will probably use a deputy team leader, and I don't have anything to do. It's better to form a team with you. Then, find a chance to transfer me to Team B and wait for you to take over as team leader. Gosh, you're thinking too far ahead. It's hard to say if I can do it until then. Xiao Chen sighed. Oh right, you stay at home. I'll go out and take a look at the warrior guild. Oh? You're going to investigate your father? Song Huawu immediately guessed Xiao Chen's intention. But on the surface, I'm going to see Chen Huanling. He's Yang Tan's father. I have to show my face no matter what, Xiao Chen said. I know the relationship between Yang Tan and Chen Huanling. They don't have a good relationship. Yang Tan doesn't like Chen Huanling. The two of them have a similar cooperative relationship on the surface, Song Huawu explained. I understand. Xiao Chen nodded and said, I'll go and take a look. Do you need me to accompany you? Song Huawu asked. Even if your relationship with me has eased, it's not good for you to always be by my side. This isn't your personality. Xiao Chen quickly refused. I'm afraid that someone will suspect something. This has always been my character. Song Huawu smiled and said, let me tell you, I'm actually very clingy. I didn't have anyone to be clingy before, but now I like to be clingy to you. Xiao Chen looked at Song Huawu. He didn't know whether she was telling the truth or not. I'm just doing missions with you to get experience. I'll be promoted quickly. Maybe in a few years, I'll be Deputy Director Song. Even if something happens to you, I can cover you secretly. Song Huawu said proudly. Well, that's what you mean. Then I'm leaving. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly and went out the door. Walking on the streets of Songning City again, Xiao Chen had a feeling that it was a lifetime ago. It hadn't been long since he left, but in his memory, it seemed to be too long. Thinking of himself and Tang Tang selling breakfast on the morning market street, Xiao Chen was filled with emotions for a while. I don't know how Kerlin is doing. Will she be in trouble again? Xiao Chen wasn't worried about others, but Kerlin seemed to be particularly unlucky and liked to be in trouble. It was already the end of the new year, and the streets of Songning City were bustling. When passing by the morning market street, Xiao Chen got out of the car and walked into the morning market street. At this time, there were people coming and going. There were many stalls selling New Year's goods. Most of the vendors who usually sold other things temporarily changed their business to sell New Year's goods. There was a New Year's atmosphere here. Xiao Chen couldn't help but think of the Xiao family's New Year situation. How did the Xiao family spend it every year? Xiao Chen thought about it. Perhaps in his memory, the New Year's of the Xiao family stayed at the time when he was young. At that time, his father was still alive and had not disappeared. Every year at the end of the new year, his father would take him and Xiao Xiao out to buy New Year's goods and firecrackers. At that time, although Xiao Chen also exercised every day, he didn't have as many worries as when he grew up. Xiao Xiao didn't neglect him either. She still stuck to him and followed him, just like Song Huawu now. So, Xiao Chen thought that Song Huawu was an orphan since childhood and had a brother complex. She felt like a big brother looking after her, and she liked this feeling. Chapter 597. It was just that Xiao Xiao distanced herself from him for some unknown reason. Fortunately, Xiao Chen now knew that she was still concerned about him. Thinking about it carefully, perhaps when a girl grew up, she would be more reserved and would not be so attached to her brother. Later, when he grew up, every New Year's Day, Xiao Chen would hide in his villa to train non-stop. It seemed that every New Year's Day was no different from usual. It had been a long time since he had a proper New Year's Day. Thinking about it, Xiao Chen felt a little regretful. He had missed too many opportunities to reunite with his family. Unknowingly, he walked to the front of Kerlin's stall. Indeed, Kerlin's family had also begun to sell New Year's goods. There were some homemade frozen dumplings, sticky bean buns, etc. However, the noodle business was still open. A bowl of noodle. Xiao Chen looked at Kerlin's busy figure and heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that she was fine. Very soon, the noodle was served. When Kerlin was serving it, she looked at Xiao Chang with some doubt. This person's back was somewhat familiar, but she did not know him from his appearance. Just as she was feeling puzzled, someone called her for noodles again. She turned around and continued to busy herself without thinking much about it. After finishing the noodles, Xiao Chen put down the money and said something to Lin Kuer before turning around to leave. However, Lin Kuer was slightly startled when she saw the money on the table, and said, "Sir, there's $1 missing." Xiao Chen was also slightly stunned. He remembered the price of the noodle and gave the exact amount. How could it be missing 1 yuan? He could not help but turn his head to look. Oh, right. The price of our noodle increased half a month ago because the price of some ingredients increased. Kerlin explained. Is that so? It's okay. Xiao Chen took out the money from his pocket again. However, he did not have any change. It was all 100 yuan. After Kerlin saw it, she waved her hand and said, "If you don't have it, then forget it. I won't accept it this time." "Alright, I'll give it to you next time." Xiao Chen smiled and was about to turn around to leave when he was stopped by Kerlin. "Wait." Kerlin suddenly said. Xiao Chen turned around and looked at Kerlin in confusion, not knowing what she was going to do. "It's nothing. I think you look like a friend of mine, but you're not." Kerlin shook her head and looked a little sad. She hadn't heard from Xiao Chen for a long time. Previously, Lu Shuangshuang said that Xiaochen seemed to have provoked a big shot and was being hunted down. After that, there was no news of him. Lu Shuangshuang didn't know how he was doing now. Hehe, I think your friend must be doing well now. It's almost the new year. You can contact him and greet him. Xiaochen smiled. Kerlin responded, but she was shaking her head in her heart. How am I going to contact him? What if I cause trouble for him? What if he gets into trouble because of me? That would be terrible. She didn't know why Kerlin was always a little afraid of Xiaochen, but she was also very worried about Xiaochen. It was a contradictory mentality. Xiaochen didn't say anything more. He left quickly and drove to the warrior guild. The entrance of the warrior guild and the warrior market were decorated with lanterns and colored banners. It was the atmosphere of the new year. In the past, during the new year, Xiaochen had never been here. This was the first time. He directly strode into the warrior market. Xiaochen planned to walk around casually. Since he saw Kerlin, he would look at Lu Shuangshuang. Compared to Kerlin, Lu Shuangshuang was already Xiaochen's woman. Xiaochen had to be responsible for her. This had already become one of Xiaochen's responsibilities. As soon as he walked into the warrior market, Xiaochen frowned. He saw Lu Shuangshuang being cornered by two men. Her face was pale and she didn't know what to do. Fortunately, the two of them didn't do anything to her. They were just talking about something. As Xiaochen walked over, he heard one of the long-haired men say to Lu Shuangshuang, "Little girl, you have to understand the reality. A new leader brings his own subordinates. Your backer has left. The new shopkeeper obviously doesn't want to care about your business. Otherwise, why hasn't he said anything? I'm selling things in the warrior market. What does that have to do with the warrior guild?" Lu Shuangshuang was obviously angry. Why do you have to care about me selling things here? This was what shopkeeper Tai promised me. Shopkeeper Tai has already left. Humph, don't think that I don't know that you are shopkeeper Tai's lover. Anyway, it doesn't matter who you follow. Our Vice President Xiao wants to take care of you because he thinks highly of you. Don't be unappreciative. He will give you 80,000 a month. Isn't that better than selling your broken binoculars here? A short-haired man at the side sneered. That's right. Don't be unappreciative. It's your fortune that Vice President Xiao likes you. You're just a second-hand good. What's the point of pretending to be so pure? The long-haired man sneered. I have a boyfriend. I already said that you can leave. I won't agree to it. Lu Shuangshuang said sternly, "Can you stop harassing me again and again? I can't do my business anymore. I have signed a contract with the warrior market." Hehe, I don't care about your contract. Unless you quit your job and want to earn money here peacefully, quickly agree to it. Otherwise, we will come every day. The long-haired man smiled and threatened. Oh? Is that so? Then you definitely won't be able to come tomorrow. Just as the long-haired man finished speaking, a cold voice suddenly came from behind him. The long-haired man turned around and felt that his hair was grabbed by someone. The person who grabbed him was naturally Xiaochen. Xiaochen was already furious. What the hell is going on? Where did this Vice President Xiao come from? Moreover, it sounded like the shopkeeper of Songning Warrior Market had changed. Wasn't it Taimu? Could it be that there was a problem on Hongzhu's side? Otherwise, why would the shopkeeper of the warrior market be changed? But in any case, Xiaochen was already angry. He couldn't care so much. Anyway, he was Yang Tan now. If something happened, it would be this idiot identity who would take the blame. It had nothing to do with him. Whoosh, the long-haired man was directly lifted by Xiaochen. In the sky, he was like the propeller of a helicopter, constantly spinning in the air. What are you doing? Put me down. The long-haired man's scalp was a little numb. Seeing that his hair was about to be separated, his tears almost fell. He couldn't help but shout, "Who are you? How dare you touch me? Don't you know that I am Vice President Xiao's subordinate? Who are you?" The short-haired man also looked at the person who suddenly made a move in shock. He was somewhat puzzled. Logically speaking, although there were many warriors in the warrior market, no one would casually stand up for others. He and Longhair had been forcing Lu Shuangshuang here for a long time, but no one dared to stand up for a just cause. What was going on today? Xiaochen ignored him and continued to rotate the long-haired man called Longhair. At this moment, a voice sounded, "How dare you? Who dares to cause trouble in the territory of the Warrior Guild and the Warrior Market? Do you want to publicly become enemies with our two major forces?" Seeing the owner of the voice appear, Xiaochen smiled slightly. Sure enough, the person in question had appeared. Xiaochen naturally didn't care about these small fries. He was looking for the person behind the scenes. However, with one look, Xiaochen was a little surprised. Wasn't this Xiao En's? Wasn't this guy a deacon of the Warrior Guild's Law Enforcement Hall? How did he become the vice president of the Warrior Guild? So, Vice President Xiao was referring to him. It seemed that this kid's family was quite capable. Xiaochen directly swung his hand, and the long hair flew out, smashing directly in Xiao En's direction. Xiao En's was shocked, and he could not dodge in time, and was hit head-on. Xiao En's was only a warrior at the peak of Stage 8 inner force. How could he be compared to Xiaochen, a cultivator who was about to reach Stage 10 Qi refinement stage? Bang! Xiao En's head was smashed and he directly fell to the ground. He was dizzy and saw stars. He was so angry that he shouted, "Who are you? How dare you make a move here?" "Humph." Xiaochen coldly snorted and took 2 steps forward. He pointed at Lu Shuangshuang and said, "I like this girl. If you dare to touch her, I will kill you." Huh? Lu Shuangshuang was suddenly stunned. She wanted to thank Xiaochen for saving her, but she didn't expect that she would enter the tiger's den after escaping from the wolf's mouth. This person saved her not because he was loyal to her, but because he liked her. This made Lu Shuangshuang a little depressed. What was wrong with her recently? She had been selling binoculars for a long time, and no one had harassed her. Now that they were here together. "I am the vice president of Songning Martial Guild, Xiao En's. Let me tell you, you not only offended me, but also my Xiao family. You are dead." Xiao En's shouted angrily. "Oh. Alright, Xiao En's, stop pretending. I know you, but I am not afraid of you. Have you forgotten who I am?" Xiaochen smiled coldly. "Huh? You know me? Then who are you?" Xiao En's was stunned and became a little cautious. This person obviously had the strength of a martial master. If it wasn't for this fear, he wouldn't just say some arrogant words. He would have already taken action. "This is my ID. Take a look at it yourself." As Xiaochen said this, he handed the ID to Xiao En's. When Xiao En saw the cover of the ID, he knew something was wrong. He used to be in the Law Enforcement Hall and had more contact with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Therefore, he could tell at a glance that the cover of the ID was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. However, he didn't know this person. Could he be a big shot from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? After taking the ID, Xiao En's opened it and took a look. He was stunned on the spot. Yang Jiannen? Xiao Chang? Looking at the 2 photos, Xiao En's finally understood why the other party knew him. It turned out to be Yang Jiannen. He was really an acquaintance. But how did it become Xiao Chang? Chapter 598. Could it be their internal mission identity? But even if it was Yang Jiannan, he didn't have to be so arrogant, right? I used to please him a lot. What does he mean now? Does he really think I'm afraid of him? The Qiao family I belong to is. When Xiaofan saw the position on Yang Jiannan's ID, he was speechless. Deputy leader of Team B. When did Yang Jiannan get promoted? He actually became the deputy leader of Team B. One had to know that Team B was directly responsible for some sects and martial arts families. They could directly talk to the presidents of the warrior guild headquarters. They were all at the same level. He was only the vice president of a small Songning branch. He was really not enough. Even if his father didn't bow and scrape to Yang Jiannan now, he would still have to smile from ear to ear. Ah, it's Deputy Leader Yang. Xiaofan's face changed, but he smiled. He also knew the rules of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The current ranking system was very strict. If he called Yang Jiannan Leader Yang and omitted the word deputy, it would make Yang Jiannan even angrier. So, he was smart and immediately said, "Since you like this girl, then she is yours." Give me a room alone. Xiao Chen nodded and said coldly. Yes, Deputy Leader Yang, this way please. Xiaofan said with a smile. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang and said, "Let's go." Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. "I'm not leaving." Lu Shuangshuang also understood. This man called Deputy Leader Yang in front of her seemed to be more powerful. Even Xiaofan's was afraid of him. She felt a little sad in her heart. She couldn't afford to offend the previous one, and now she met someone she couldn't afford to offend. Why was she so unlucky? It's not up to you to leave. Xiao Chen was more aggressive than Xiaofan's. He directly went up, hugged Lu Shuangshuang, and dragged her forward. Hey. What are you doing? Let me go. You still dare to kidnap a girl? Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. Previously, although Xiaofan's had taken a fancy to Lu Shuangshuang, he was, after all, a reputable figure. He also had to consider the consequences. If he acted like a tyrant in his own territory and was reported to the headquarters, then even if he had connections, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Therefore, he didn't do anything to Lu Shuangshuang. He just found people to cause trouble and force her. However, Xiao Chen was different. First, he knew that he was Lu Shuangshuang's man. Second, he was Yang Jiannan's man. He didn't mind being a little arrogant to smear his name. But in reality, Yang Jiannan was in the limelight now, and no one would talk about it. Xiaoan smacked his lips. This Yang Jiannan seemed to be in high spirits now. He had become so overbearing after being appointed as the deputy team leader of Team B. However, this also represented a fact. He had heard that the team leader of Team B was about to retire, and Yang Jiannan was probably going to take over. If not, he would not be so arrogant. He would have carefully fought for the succession, and not this kind of certainty. He sighed somewhat gloomily. Chen Huanling was now the veteran vice president of the Songning Martial Arts Guild. However, ever since he had arrived, he had wanted to fight for power with him. The two of them had been fighting openly and covertly for half a month. Although Chen Huanling had a son, Yang Jiannan, who was the leader of Team C, Xiaofan's Qiao family also had the final say in the warrior guild headquarters. The two of them were at most evenly matched, and Xiaofan's might even be slightly stronger. But now, Yang Jiannan was still a little weak as the deputy leader. When he became the leader of Team B, then Xiaofan's really had no way to deal with Chen Huanling. They were not at the same level at all. Deputy Leader Yang, this way please. Xiaofan's quickly adjusted his mentality and said to Xiao Chen, "Do you want to go to your father's lounge, or?" "Oh, then let's go to my father's lounge." Xiao Chen nodded. Chen Huanling was the deputy leader. His lounge definitely didn't have any surveillance equipment installed, because it was impossible for him to monitor himself. As for the other lounges, he couldn't guarantee. If this Xiao En's messed with him, it wouldn't be fun. "Okay, over here," Xiao En said. At this time, Lu Shuangshuang finally knew who the person in front of her was. Wasn't this the son of the deputy leader who was rumored to be killed by Xiao Chen? Wasn't he dead? Why did he appear again? Lu Shuangshuang's news had always been lagging behind. Tai Mucheng was transferred away, and she lost her backer. Every day, she sold things in the warriors' market. Although she could hear some news, it was limited. But Yang Jianan was alive, then what about Xiao Chen? Lu Shuangshuang was dragged forward by Xiao Chen. She did not have the strength to struggle free at all. As for the warriors nearby, it was as if they did not see them at all. No one asked a single word. These warriors weren't stupid. Xiao En's was the deputy leader. Even Xiao En's respected him. How would they dare to offend him? They still had to rely on the warrior guild and the warriors' market. Lu Shuangshuang felt a little sad, but she thought that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen's enemy. Since she couldn't resist, she would find a way to kill him later. At most, she would run away and never come here to sell binoculars again. Of course, her idea was good, but she still underestimated the abilities of warriors and martial masters. They arrived at the door of Chen Huanling's lounge in the warrior guild and saw Chen Huanling walking toward them. When he saw these people standing in front of his lounge, he couldn't help but be stunned. "Xiao En's, what is the meaning of this? Why are you blocking my lounge door with your men? Don't go too far." Chen Huanling had been very sullen recently. He had been hit by Xiao En's one after another. That. Xiao En's didn't know how to explain. "Who are you people? This is the resting place of the warrior guild's upper management. It's also private territory. Outsiders are not allowed to enter." Chen Huanling turned to Xiao Chen when he saw that Xiao En's didn't say anything. "Oh, you don't even recognize me?" Xiao Chen imitated Yang Tan's tone and said. "Huh." Chen Huanling was slightly stunned. "Congratulations, Deputy Leader Chen. Brother Jiannan is now the deputy leader of Team B of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I brought him here to rest." Xiao En's quickly explained after he recovered from his shock. "Huh?" Chen Huanling looked at Xiao Chen in surprise. "You're Yang Tan?" "Yes." Xiao Chen nodded. He took out his ID and handed it to Chen Huanling. Chen Huanling glanced at it and immediately beamed with joy. It turned out that his son had disguised himself as another identity. There was even a photo on the ID. He immediately felt relieved. "Yang Tan, then you should rest well. I heard that you completed a mission and won a great victory. I won't disturb you anymore." Xiao Chen took the ID and nodded. He dragged the bitter Lu Shuangshuang into the room and closed the door with a bang. Chen Huanling was very happy. Even though Yang Tan was still indifferent to him, he was still a member of the Chen family. Xiao En's attitude had obviously changed a lot, and it must be because of Yang Tan's face. It seemed that this guy wouldn't go against him anymore. As expected, Xiao En's expression changed. He put on a fawning look. "Uncle Chen, I just came here and wanted to start a career. I might have offended you, but I've thought it through. I still need to learn from the elders. I hope Uncle Chen can guide me in the future." Of course, of course." Chen Huanling nodded with a smile. This Xiao En's didn't even call him Vice President Chen. He directly referred to himself as a junior. It seemed that he had a good eye. After entering the room, Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen with her arms crossed. "Hey, what do you want? What do you think?" I want to F***CKU, of course. Xiao Chen smiled. You, shameless. Lu Shuangshuang glared at Xiao Chen. Weren't you killed by that Xiao Chen? Why are you here again? You're not an imposter, are you? Lu Shuangshuang's real purpose of asking was to find out about Xiao Chen. It was just that she couldn't ask directly, so she used a probing tone. It seemed that she was asking about Yang Tan, but she was actually asking about Xiao Chen. Huh? Xiao Chen pretended to be surprised. You found out? You can actually tell that I'm an imposter? Then should I kill you to silence you? Lu Shuangshuang really wanted to cry at this moment. She casually said something to find out about Xiao Chen's whereabouts, and it turned out that she was right? This person was really an imposter? Then, he wanted to kill her? However, it's fine if you don't kill me. Xiao Chen changed the topic and said calmly. Then, what should I do? Lu Shuangshuang asked subconsciously. If I don't kill you, then you'll become my woman. Since you're one of us, you can't leak the secret, Xiao Chen said. This. How could Lu Shuangshuang agree? She rolled her eyes and suddenly said, oh right, how about this? I'll tell you the truth. I already have a boyfriend. He's a broken flower. A big shot like you can't fall for him, right? If you let me stay by your side for a long time, you'll definitely feel embarrassed. Plus, I know your secret. What if I secretly hide it somewhere, and you don't dare to kill me? How troublesome would that be for you? And then? Xiao Chen listened to Lu Shuangshuang's words and was speechless. This girl's thinking. Isn't she afraid that I'll kill her now? Then, you see, I'll sell things in the Warrior Guild and the Warriors Market. Now, the telescopes, melon seeds, mineral water, and drinks in these two places are all under my exclusive management. When the time comes, I'll give you half of the profits, and you'll protect me. How about that? Lu Shuangshuang suggested, this is more beneficial than you getting a broken flower, right? It seems to make sense. Xiao Chen nodded after listening. Lu Shuangshuang's suggestion was not bad. Although her business didn't seem to make much money, it was her exclusive management. It was also a considerable profit. Right? Isn't it very reasonable? Then, that's it? I'll leave first. Lu Shuangshuang was about to slip away. Chapter 599. Stop right there. Xiao Chen pulled her back and said, however, I still feel that I can't let you go. Moreover, I don't care about a broken woman. Really? Lu Shuangshuang saw that her words were useless. She was a little frustrated. I'll tell you the truth. Actually, I have AIDS. F***CK, really? Asked Xiao Chen. Of course it's true. Lu Shuangshuang said pitifully, that's right. My boyfriend isn't very decent. He has a few women outside. He accidentally infected me. My life is so hard. I have to sell binoculars every day just to raise enough money for medical expenses, I see. That's such a coincidence. I should also have AIDS. That's just right. Xiao Chen thought about it and said. Lu Shuangshuang was stunned. She subconsciously took 2 steps back. She looked at Xiao Chen in horror and said, really? Of course it's true. Xiao Chen nodded with some depression and said, yeah, I pretended to be someone else's boyfriend. In the end, I accidentally made it real. In the end, my girlfriend seems to have AIDS. She accidentally infected me. I have such a hard life. I pretend to be Yang Jiannan every day to earn some money to pay for medical expenses. Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen with some surprise. She felt a little strange. She looked at Xiao Chen from head to toe and then looked at Xiao Chen's face. Yeah, Shuang, you really made me die. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you have AIDS? Xiao Chen said, depressed. Pfft. Lu Shuang's originally tense nerves suddenly relaxed. She rushed up and hugged Xiao Chen. Aya, why are you so annoying? You scared me. I thought you were really young Jiannan. I don't have AIDS. It was my first time with you. There are many ways to transmit this. Injuries, selling blood, and so on, said Xiao Chen. I made it up to lie. Lu Shuang said, Xiao Chen, are you okay? How did it become Yang Jiannan? It's fine for now. I'll pretend to be him. I have an identity. Xiao Chen said, actually, I don't know how long I can use this identity. I was on a mission before and now I'm on vacation, so I came back to take a look. Ah, are you here to see me? Lu Shuang was a little happy. That's great. Just when I was being bullied, you fell from the sky like a Prince Charming. You seem to think that I was an even worse bully just now. Xiao Chen shrugged. Hey, don't mention it. That was just now. Lu Shuang laughed dryly. Oh right, why did Tai Muching leave? Xiao Chen was a little curious about the change of authority in Songning City's warriors' market. Hongzhu had left, but why did Tai Muching leave as well? Would Lu Shuang suddenly lose her backing? But didn't Hongzhu have a lot of authority? Wasn't she the leader of the Hongning team? Why didn't you greet the new shopkeeper? Could it be that the new shopkeeper wasn't one of her people? I don't know either. Sigh, I'm just a small traveling merchant at the bottom of the hierarchy. How would I know these things? Lu Shuang shook her head. In short, although the new shopkeeper didn't interfere with my business, he didn't care about my affairs either. Xiao Chen nodded. Perhaps Hongzhu had forgotten to greet him. It wasn't impossible. What's the new shopkeeper's name? His name is Hong Lai. I heard that he has some background. Lu Shuang said. Hong Lai, also surnamed Hong. Xiao Chen nodded. This made sense. The new shopkeeper was likely to be a member of the Hong family. It was reasonable that he didn't give Hongzhu too much face. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen said, Shuang, my current identity is Yang Jiannan. You won't be in any trouble for the time being. I believe that Hong Lai won't refuse to give me face. But if my identity is exposed, you'd better leave this place quickly. You should have earned a lot of money recently, right? If it's not enough, I still have a lot here. You can start another business. Lu Shuang nodded. I've thought about it too. I've indeed earned quite a lot during this period. I've saved up 1,000,000 yuan. But I don't know what business to do. I'm also waiting and seeing. Then you should take a good look. If you need any connections, I'll help you call them. Xiao Chen thought for a while and said, if it doesn't work, I'll go to Lan City. I'm more familiar with that place. I have a lot of people there. Xiao Chen thought that since Lu Shuang didn't know how to manage other businesses, it was a good idea to let her sell things at Tianqing Monastery. At that time, Lu Li and Tai Shan would take care of her. It was much more reliable than here. Those two fellows were both in Little Demon's disciples and grand disciples, so they didn't dare to cause any trouble. Okay. Lu Shuang nodded readily. Is your grandmother's illness better? Xiao Chen asked. Much better. She's almost fine. Thank you for your help. Lu Shuang was a little happy when she mentioned her grandmother. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to save so much money. I don't have to pay so much for medical expenses. I just need to buy some nutrition products. That's good. Xiao Chen nodded. His gaze drifted to Lu Shuang. He was a little tempted. Since there's still time, What? Lu Shuangshuang's face turned red. She somewhat understood what Xiao Chen meant, but she still pretended not to know. It's what I want to do by snatching you over, said Xiao Chen. This. Lu Shuangshuang was a little nervous. That. I said it before. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because we did that. Oh, it's okay. Although Xiao Chen was a little disappointed, he still respected Lu Shuangshuang's opinion. I haven't finished yet. Lu Shuangshuang listened to Xiao Chen's words and was a little anxious. I also want to, hee. Xiao Chen laughed. What are you laughing at? Don't think that I can do whatever I want in the future. You have to pursue me and be good to me. Lu Shuangshuang was a little incoherent, but she was already in Xiao Chen's arms. After making love, Xiao Chen walked out of the lounge with Lu Shuangshuang, whose face was a little flushed. He was surprised to find that not far away, there were 3 people waiting for him. He knew 2 of them. They were Qiao Enz and Chen Huanling. There was also a young man about the same age as Qiao Enz standing there, talking and laughing. When he saw Xiao Chen coming out, he immediately greeted him. Deputy Team Leader Yang, it's an honor to meet you. The young man that he didn't know walked over with a smile on his face. He stretched out his hand and said with a smile, I'm Hong Lai, the trusted shopkeeper of the Songning Warrior Market of the Hong Chamber of Commerce. Oh, so it's shopkeeper Hong. Nice to meet you. Xiao Chen shook hands with him and nodded. I've prepared a banquet to celebrate Deputy Team Leader Yang's promotion. Hong Lai said with a smile. I wonder if Deputy Team Leader Yang will do me the honor? Let's go then. Xiao Chen happened to be hungry, so he could take care of Lu Shuangshuang. This is Lu Shuangshuang. She's my girlfriend now. It's Miss Lu. I know. You've always been working with our warrior market. I've just been appointed and have been busy with work, so I didn't have the time to discuss the cooperation with Miss Lu. But it's all good now. We're all on the same side. If there's anything in the future, just call me directly. Hong Lai laughed and didn't feel embarrassed at all. Xiao Chen nodded secretly. Hong Lai was a very slick person. It seemed that he wasn't easy to deal with. The departure of Hong Zhu and Tai Mucheng was a little thought-provoking. Shopkeeper Hong is from the Hong family? Yes. Hong Lai didn't hide it. My ancestor was also the founder of the Hong Chamber of Commerce in the secular world, President Hong Zhong. However, I'm not from the main branch now. I'm considered a branch. It's good that you're capable. Xiao Chen nodded. This Hong Lai seemed unwilling to be a shopkeeper. From his words, he could tell that they were the same ancestor, but he was reduced to a branch. He definitely wouldn't feel comfortable in his heart. After all, everyone was from the Hong family. No one was lacking anything. We're all working for the Hong family. Hong Lai smiled. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. Oh right, Deputy Team Leader Yang, why are you here? In his opinion, Yang Jiannan obviously didn't come here for Lu Shuangshuang. He heard what happened just now. This Yang Jiannan's action was completely random. He only took a fancy to Lu Shuangshuang's beauty. Then, he must have another purpose for coming here. Oh, it's nothing much. I'm on vacation, so I came over to visit my father when I had nothing to do. I also wanted to investigate the matter of my enemy, Xiao Chen, who injured me back then, Xiao Chen said casually. Lu Shuangshuang was stunned. Xiao Chen wanted to investigate Xiao Chen. What was going on? I see. Then let's eat first. Hong Lai was no longer anxious when he heard that there was nothing going on. The reason why he was trying so hard to build a relationship with Xiao Chen was because of Xiao Chen's identity as the deputy team leader of Team B. Hong Lai's life in the Hong family wasn't that smooth. To put it nicely, his position as the shopkeeper was to gain experience. To put it bluntly, he was kicked out of the line of succession. As for Lu Shuangshuang, Tai Mucheng and Hong Zhu didn't give him any special instructions, so he didn't care too much. However, he didn't stop this collaboration either. He was a cautious person and didn't want to offend anyone. In fact, it wasn't that Tai Mucheng and Hong Zhu didn't give him any special instructions, but the two of them had left in too much of a hurry. Something big had happened in the Hong family, and they had to rush over as soon as possible. The few of them walked into the dining room. Xiao Chen was really hungry, and Lu Shuangshuang was unbearably tired. She didn't understand why Xiao Chen didn't look for other girlfriends recently. Otherwise, how could he be so troublesome? And she guessed it right. Xiao Chen had been in Lan City all this time, so who could he be troublesome with? Moreover, Song Huawu seduced him every day, making him very helpless. Hence, Lu Shuangshuang suffered. Chapter 600. During the banquet, Hong Lai was extremely fawning over Xiao Chen. From his words, it seemed that he wanted to get Yang Jiannan's support. However, Xiao Chen was just feigning civility. If he was on good terms with Hong Zhu, how could he be on good terms with Hong Lai? Moreover, Hong Lai was obviously very ambitious. As for Chen Huanling, Xiao Chen could also see that he was both afraid and happy about Yang Jiannan's identity. He probably wanted to borrow his strength, but it was obvious that the relationship between father and son was not very good. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Xiao Chen waved his hand and said, "Bring me all the information you have on Xiao Chen. I want to take a good look. This brat almost killed me before. I need to understand him. Only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you win every battle. What if this brat attacks me again?" "You're right." Chen Huanling naturally hated Xiao Chen. He also didn't want Xiao Chen to launch a sneak attack on Yang Jiannan. If Yang Jiannan was finished, the Chen family would also be finished. Hong Lai and Xiao Ens were also very fawning over Xiao Chen, so they naturally wouldn't stop him. Especially since Xiao Ens also hated Xiao Chen to the core. Therefore, with these few big shots joining hands to make the final decision, those top-secret information that could only be accessed by outsiders after an application from the higher-ups were all brought out. Xiao Chen sat in the conference room, looking at the mountain of files. He felt a headache coming on, but he couldn't tell the others that he was actually looking for information on his father, Xiaofan. He could only hint to Lu Shuangshuang and ask her to help him look through the files. If she saw any information on Xiaofan, she should immediately give it to him. After sending the others away, Xiao Chen went back to the conference room and looked through the files. "So your parents also disappeared. I thought I was the only pitiful person living with my grandmother." Lu Shuangshuang sighed while looking. "Well, it's not really pitiful. I'm still luckier than you because the Xiao family treated me very well. Even now, they still miss me." Xiao Chen said, "By the way, what about your parents?" "My parents divorced when I was very young. My father was a gambling addict and lived in the countryside. My grandmother didn't recognize him anymore. My mother saw him like this and ran away with someone else, leaving my brother and me at my grandmother's place." Lu Shuangshuang sighed. "You have a brother?" Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. "Yes, my brother is in middle school. He lives on campus and rarely goes home." Lu Shuangshuang said, "But I'm doing quite well now. I met you, but, don't despise me. Although I'm not from a good family, I'm not bad looking. You can't throw me away after a few times. How could that be? Didn't we agree?" Xiao Chen realized that Lu Shuangshuang was a girl who lacked a sense of security. Perhaps it had something to do with her being abandoned by her parents when she was young. Parents were the people a child trusted the most. If they abandoned the child, who would the child trust in the future? Lu Shuangshuang was afraid that Xiaochen wouldn't want her. She wasn't worried for nothing. Alright, but I have to keep you fresh. I can't just agree when you want me, Lu Shuangshuang said. Hee hee. Xiaochen laughed. There were a lot of dossiers, and many of them were related to the Xiao clan. For every big clan, the Martial Artist Guild and the Martial Artist City Square had dossiers, and there were quite a few of them. Huh. Xiaochen, in the files, you're described as a super useless person. Your fiancé doesn't like you. You didn't get any response when you tried to pursue the goddess. You were bullied by your followers. You can't even cultivate. Why are you so useless? Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. Xiaochen's face darkened. What do you think? I think it's fake that you can't cultivate because you're hiding your strength. But your fiancé doesn't like you, right? You didn't even get the goddess, right? Lu Shuangshuang laughed sarcastically. Who said that? Didn't you see Cheng Menjing the other day? She's very close to me, Xiaochen said. And Shen Jingxian. Didn't she say her boyfriend is White Fox? Then these people from the Warrior Guild are all blind. Lu Shuangshuang said. After reading for a while, Lu Shuangshuang suddenly widened her eyes and exclaimed, Xiaochen, you made a comeback. This is White Fox's file. How did you suddenly make a comeback after being chased out of the family? I feel so good. It's like I'm reading a novel. Xiaochen was a little speechless. Lu Shuangshuang was so flustered. If he had known this would happen, he would not have let her read it. Moreover, the pile of dossiers she was reading seemed to be about him. She had basically given up all his privacy to her. I can't take it anymore. I suddenly find myself admiring you. Hey, Xiaochen, I want to do it with you again. Lu Shuangshuang put down the file and leaned towards Xiaochen. Stop fooling around. This is the conference room. Xiaochen suppressed the impulse in his heart and continued to read the file in his hand. This was because this file contained some of the trial missions that his father had accepted. He didn't have the mood to do those things now. Oh. In the movies, there are not often bosses and secretaries in the conference room. Although Lu Shuangshuang was a little disappointed, she was very happy. It seems that you're not an animal that thinks with the lower half of your body. Not bad. Xiaochen continued to read the file in his hand, and Lu Shuangshuang continued to read too. Looking at the missions that his father and second uncle had done, Xiaochen was suddenly filled with emotions. Many of the missions, other than earning money, were to find some treasures that could help ordinary people embark on the path of martial arts cultivation faster. Every time such a mission appeared, they would sign up for it immediately. Later, his father and second uncle had family business. Both of them couldn't leave, so his father went on the trial missions alone. Looking at the densely packed missions, Xiaochen felt that his father's love was as heavy as a mountain. In the Xiao family, he wasn't the only one who suffered from not being able to cultivate inner strength. He wasn't the only one who trained every day. His father was the same. He was always thinking about ways to cultivate inner strength. As the saying goes, if you stand by the river often, how can you not wet your shoes? His father's strength wasn't very high either. After participating in so many trial missions, he finally disappeared without a trace in one of them. Finally, Xiaochen found the last trial mission that his father participated in. At this moment, he was extremely excited. It's here, this is it. Hakanamata Desert, Blazing Mountain, an expedition to the ruins of an ancient sect in search of treasures. However, at the end of the file, there was an explanation for Xiaofang's expedition. It was because Blazing Mountain had a type of true tempering fire. This was a type of heavenly flame. It was said that bathing in the water boiled by this heavenly flame could cleanse one's marrow and achieve the effect of tempering one's body. It allowed ordinary people who couldn't cultivate to embark on the path of martial arts. Of course, these were all legends. No one had ever confirmed it. However, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, Xiaofan wouldn't give up. Therefore, this blazing mountain in Hakonamada Desert was definitely a place he had to go. It was also because after he went to this place, there was no news of him at all. Including Cheng Menjiang's uncle, none of them returned. However, what made Xiaochen feel strange was that there was no other introduction in the file. For example, who issued this mission, who organized it, who the other team members were, or what kind of treasures they were looking for were not mentioned. It was just a general description. This made Xiaochen a little puzzled. After all, this file about the Xiao family was very detailed from beginning to end. It even included how he picked up girls and how he wooed Kerlin and Shen Jingxian. Furthermore, the trial missions that his father and second uncle had carried out were all very detailed, including the client, the issuer, the participants, the objective, and the rewards. However, this mission was the only one that was not detailed, as if they were purposely hiding something. Did you find it? Seeing Xiaochen frown, Lu Shuangshuang immediately came over and looked at the file in Xiaochen's hand. Then, she asked. Yes, I found it, but it doesn't seem to be written in detail. I don't know why. Xiaochen said. Oh. Let me see. Lu Shuangshuang also looked at it. Indeed, she also found that this mission was not written in detail. On her side, the mission that Xiaochen performed with Yi Baiya as the White Fox was described in detail. But this was not the case. After thinking about it, Lu Shuangshuang said. Could it be because this mission was not completed, so the record is not detailed? As for the others, they're only recorded in detail after the mission ends and the trial taker returns? That's possible. Xiaochen listened to Lu Shuangshuang's analysis and nodded. Then, I'll ask Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens to see if they know anything. Yes, you can ask them. Lu Shuangshuang also agreed. The two of them guessed here, but they could not guess anything. Xiaochen stood up and opened the door of the conference room. However, Chen Huanling, Xiao Ens, and Hong Lai did not wait here. They probably also knew that Xiaochen would not be able to finish reading the information in a short time. It would take a long time. So they went to busy themselves first. In fact, Xiaochen and Lu Shuangshuang also watched until the sky turned dark. It was now 9 o'clock in the evening. Come here. Xiaochen casually called over a warrior disciple who was patrolling back and forth in the warrior guild not far away. Hello, Deputy Leader Yang. When the disciple heard Xiaochen calling him, he immediately came over. Do you need any help? You go and call Chen. Deputy President and Xiao Ens, I have something to talk to them about. Just as Xiaochen wanted to say Chen Huanling, he suddenly remembered that he was his son, so he could not directly call him by his name. Okay. The disciple obviously knew who Xiaochen was, so he immediately turned around and left after receiving the order. Not long after, Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens came over. They knew that Xiaochen did not leave, so they worked overtime in the warrior guild and did not leave early. As expected, Xiaochen had something to talk to them about. Deputy Leader Yang, what's the matter? Xiao Ens walked over and asked from afar. Yang Tan, have you finished reading? Chen Huanling also asked. Chapter 601. I'm almost done, but there's one thing I'm more interested in. Come and help me take a look. Xiaochen said. Oh? What's the matter? Xiao Ens and Chen Huanling walked into the conference room together. Take a look at this file. As Xiaochen spoke, he passed the file in his hand to Xiao Ens and Chen Huanling, then said, I want to know where Xiaochen's father, Xiaofan, ran off to. Oh. Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens took the file and read it. Chen Huanling knew that Xiao Chen's father, Xiaofan, was from a big family in Songning, so it was impossible for him not to know. However, he only heard that Xiaofan went on a mission and then disappeared, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Now that he carefully read the file, he understood what was going on. Xiao Ens had never heard of it. He didn't even know Xiaofan before, so he didn't care about the affairs of the Xiao family. He only had Xiao Chen as an enemy. Now that he finished reading the file, he was also confused. Didn't it say? Xiaofan went to the Hakonamata desert to look for the ruins of the fiery mountain. Xiao En said after reading the file. Yes, he disappeared after he went there. Chen Huanling also nodded. He was a little puzzled as to why Yang Tan would care about this thing. Are there any specific details? Xiao Chen thought for a moment and said, this fiery mountain is the ruins of an ancient sect, right? Could it be that Xiaofan went there to cultivate, so he won't come back? When he comes back and finds out that I forced his son, will he seek revenge on me? This shouldn't be possible, right? Chen Huanling was surprised. This was too far-fetched. He never thought of this possibility. However, if he thought about it carefully, it was not impossible. This is a little suspicious. Xiao Ens also said. So, do you have any specific details? Xiao Chen asked. Well, I wasn't elected as the vice president of the warrior guild at that time, so I didn't know anything about it. Chen Huanling said. I've just arrived, so I don't know. Xiao Ens echoed, we can only check the background and see if there are any details about this trial mission. Alright, you guys check it now. Xiao Chen nodded, I'm very interested in the Blazing Mountain ruins. If you have any relevant information, bring it to me. I'll wait for you here. It's a good time to take a break. I've been reading for a long time and I'm a little tired. Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens nodded and said, alright, we'll go investigate right now. The two quickly left the conference room and closed the door, letting Xiao Chen have a good rest. Lu Shuangshuang had nothing to do at the moment, so she looked at Xiao Chen. In fact, she didn't know why today, but she wanted to be intimate with Xiao Chen. However, she remembered that Xiao Chen said that this was a conference room, so she didn't continue. Instead, she stood up and strolled back and forth in the conference room to see if there was anything interesting to do here. Xiao Chen didn't pay attention to her. He closed his eyes to rest and gently operated the Heart Sutra chant, preparing to take advantage of this time to cultivate. Although Xiao Chen's cultivation speed was a lot slower without the assistance of medicinal liquid and spirit jades, there was no harm in being diligent. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that as soon as he started operating the Heart Sutra chant, a warm current spontaneously appeared in his dantian and instantly rushed to the meridians of his body. Xiao Chen suddenly felt that something was wrong. This feeling made his heart tremble, and his expression instantly became dignified. I'm about to break through. This feeling was similar to the previous few breakthroughs. It was the feeling of water overflowing from the dantian when it was full. However, this breakthrough came without any warning. Just a moment ago, Xiao Chen didn't feel anything, but as soon as he started operating the Heart Sutra chant, it happened. However, Xiao Chen didn't think too much about it. As he operated the Heart Sutra chant, the Yuan Qi flowed along the meridians, starting from the dantian, and finally flowed back to the dantian. As the Yuan Qi continued to increase, Xiao Chen also took a deep breath, knowing that the breakthrough was imminent. Boom! After about 10 minutes, Xiao Chen's body suddenly shook. The meridians in his body also felt like they were broken, bringing with it a tearing pain and a strong burning sensation. Xiao Chen knew that he had finally broken through again. However, at this moment, the clothes on his body were also torn and burned, and Xiao Chen's body also felt a cold breeze. This kind of breakthrough method of destroying clothes made Xiao Chen a little surprised. This was because this had happened many times before, but this time, when Xiaochen broke through to the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm, it happened again. Could it be because the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm was a big realm? Or, was it because of other reasons? Of course, this sudden breakthrough also made Xiaochen a little surprised. He also didn't expect that he would break through in the conference room of the warrior guild. Lu Shuangshuang was looking around when she suddenly heard some noise behind her. When she turned around, she was immediately stunned. Xiaochen was actually sitting on the sofa naked. This. What kind of situation is this? Could it be that Xiaochen missed me, but because he rejected me before, he was too embarrassed to say it, so he used his actions to express it? Thinking of this, Lu Shuangshuang felt a burst of joy in her heart. She ran over, locked the conference room door, and instantly took off all her clothes. Then, she jumped on the sofa and pounced on Xiaochen. "Hey, what are you doing?" Xiaochen was stunned. He was immersed in the joy and surprise of breaking through when suddenly he saw a naked body approaching him. He didn't have to think to know that it was Lu Shuangshuang. "If you miss me, just say it. You even took off your clothes to hint to me." Lu Shuangshuang said. I. Only then did Xiaochen remember that his clothes were all destroyed, but he really didn't mean that. However, since he had just broken through to the 10th level of the Qi refinement realm, he was in a very good mood. When Lu Shuangshuang approached him, he was just very puzzled. This Lu Shuangshuang was really strong today. Just now in the lounge, it was also her first time, right? Why was she so crazy? However, he was thinking in his heart, could it be related to the time when he was in the lounge with Lu Shuangshuang, so she broke through? It has something to do with it. I said it last time, but it only worked for the first few times. After that, there was no effect. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice sounded in Xiaochen's ear. Primordial Yin is also a kind of primordial energy. It is very pure. When it enters your body, you can naturally take the opportunity to break through, but after that, there is no effect. Then, will she wither and die? Xiaochen was stunned and quickly asked. She is different from Shenjing Xian, so naturally she won't, Elder Heaven Ancestor said, but if it happens too many times, it will not be good for her. She will age easily. Oh. There is such a problem? Xiaochen was shocked. He had now regarded Lu Shuangshuang as his woman. If something happened to Lu Shuangshuang, he would naturally be worried. Although he could not say that he had fallen in love with Lu Shuangshuang completely, he certainly had some feelings for her. Naturally, Xiaochen could not ignore Lu Shuangshuang and only care about his own pleasure. It is inevitable. You are a cultivator, so your Taoist companion must be a cultivator, too. You must find a female cultivator to make progress together. You need to find a mental cultivation method that she can practice with you. Only in this way can you make progress together. However, such mental cultivation methods are only available in some sects that practice dual cultivation. I don't have any of them either, Elder Heaven Ancestor explained. Fine. Xiaochen suddenly felt a bit depressed. Then, would Tang Tang be the same as Lu Shuangshuang? In that case, Miss Su and Jean Beibei would pass out. What am I thinking? What does it have to do with them? After they had been fooling around for a while, someone knocked on the door of the meeting room. Lu Shuangshuang was startled and hurried to get up. She was about to put on her clothes, but Xiaochen dragged her back. It is useless even if you put on your clothes. I haven't put them on yet. Where are your clothes? Lu Shuangshuang was dazed. They are all torn. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. Then you are truly crazy. Even if you are in a hurry, you don't have to do this, do you? You tore your clothes into pieces? Lu Shuangshuang was somewhat surprised. That's not it. Xiaochen said to the door of the meeting room, prepare a set of clothes for me. My clothes are all torn. Outside the door, Chen Huanling and Xiao Ens were dazed. They looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They had guessed what was going on. They thought to themselves that Yang Jiannan was truly a playboy. His clothes were all torn. However, they did not say anything. Xiao Ens nodded and gave all the files to Chen Huanling. Then, he ran out to buy some clothes. Seizing the opportunity, Xiaochen talked to Lu Shuangshuang for a while longer before he asked her to put on her clothes. Right, you don't need to take your medicine today? Should I ask them to buy some? An important question suddenly occurred to Xiaochen. Today is a safe period. You don't need to take it, Lu Shuangshuang said. I have condoms in my bag. Otherwise, would have let you use them long ago. Oh. Xiaochen said. Lu Shuangshuang was really thoughtful. You carry these things with you every day? Wait for me to come back. How is that possible? Lu Shuangshuang rolled her eyes at Xiaochen. As if I'm that thirsty. I now run all kinds of small stores in the warrior guild. Of course, I sell these. Some warriors like to bring their lovers to the nearby jungle to have sex. Then, I sell them at a high price. You really know how to make money. You have the medicine too? Xiaochen asked. Yes, ha. I got the idea last time at the resort. Then, I bought some goods and sold them to people who need them. Lu Shuangshuang laughed. You don't know, but it's very profitable. Otherwise, how could I earn more than 1 million so quickly? Okay. Xiaochen waited for Lu Shuangshuang to put on her clothes. Then, he asked her to help him get some clothes outside. Although Xiaochen was a man, he did not want Chen Huanling and Lu Shuangshuang to see him. If they found out that he was not Yang Jiannan, it would be troublesome. Chapter 602. Lu Shuangshuang walked over and opened the door. She took the new clothes that Xiao Ens bought and handed them to Xiaochen. Xiaochen quickly put on the clothes and walked to the door to open it. Sorry. I was a little crazy just now. Xiaochen naturally couldn't say that it was because of a breakthrough, but no one would doubt this reason. Deputy team leader Yang is young and strong, so it's understandable. Xiao Ens laughed but didn't care. By the way, Deputy Team Leader Yang, we have found the information you wanted. Do you want to take a look? Let me see. Xiaochen couldn't wait to reveal the truth. He was already a refinement stage 10th level cultivator, only one step away from the foundation building stage. As long as he succeeded in the foundation building stage, he wouldn't have to be afraid of Xia Zhili anymore. Xia Zhili seemed to be only a 5th or 6th level martial artist. As long as he killed him secretly, he believed that the other people in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't be the same as him. He would always have a chance to cancel Xiao Chen's wanted order. Of course, this was only an ideal situation. Maybe Xia Zhili, that old bastard, had hidden his strength or some trump card. Xiaochen wouldn't be so stupid as to act rashly. The information is here. Xiao Ens put the information on the tea table in the conference room and sat down with Chen Huanling. Deputy Team Leader Yang, according to our investigation, this mission is a bit strange. But although it's strange, according to what you think, the possibility of Xiaofan coming back from learning is almost zero. Oh? Xiaochen didn't show anything. He just picked up the file and flipped through it. This file was the trial mission from that year. Oh? It's a mission issued by a martial arts sect? Xiaochen looked at the situation in this file and was a little surprised. Generally speaking, martial arts sects had their own outstanding disciples. They didn't need to issue a trial mission to do any mission, especially this kind of small mission. There were only 6 people in a team to explore. This was something they could have gathered themselves, but now they issued a mission from a small place like Songning. It was somewhat strange. It was understandable to go to a place like Lan City, but now, what sect is this? Xiao Chen asked. I'm not sure about that. It's not written in the dossier. Xiao En shook his head. What we know is what's in the dossier. What's not in the dossier, we don't know either, because we didn't handle it. Then who was in charge of this mission? Why is it so vague? Xiao Chen frowned. Although this file had some content, it was completely vague. It only roughly described the situation of the mission. It didn't even say who the client was and what the mission was about. It only said to explore the ruins, but this exploration was too general. There are two possibilities. One is that the client of the mission is quite powerful. If it's really a big sect, then we have no choice but to keep it a secret. This is because the local warrior guild is only a deterrent to those loose cultivators and ordinary families. However, if it involves the true martial arts family or ordinary sects, then it won't be so effective. If it's a martial arts sect, then it won't have any deterrent power, Xiao En said. There's another possibility, which is that someone deliberately concealed it at that time. After all, even if it's not disclosed to the public, it's not a big deal to file it internally, but I don't think it's justifiable that there's no record internally, Chen Huanling said. Because the other party was his son, he didn't hide anything and said what he thought. Who was in charge of this mission at that time? Xiao Chen nodded and asked. It's someone from the warrior guild. It's Cheng Nanlu. Chen Huanling said. He was the vice president of the warrior guild at that time. Cheng Nanlu? Isn't he dead? Xiao Chen was stunned. He knew this Cheng Nanlu. He was Cheng Menjing's third grandfather. When he passed away, he and the Xiao family attended the funeral. At that time, there was no news of his father's disappearance. So, the Xiao family and the Cheng family had a marriage relationship, but he was actually in charge of it. Was there something wrong with him? But this person was already dead. Xiao Chen couldn't ask him even if he wanted to. But no matter what, there was one thing Xiao Chen could be sure of, and that was that this matter was related to the Cheng family. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen decided to go to the Cheng family and look for Cheng Zhongfan and Cheng Mengqiang. In the past, Xiao Chen was afraid of alerting the enemy, and he was also afraid that his strength was not enough. But now, it didn't matter. He was already wanted, and he had already done what he needed to do. The Cheng family didn't matter anymore. He's dead, but the Cheng family was the vice president at that time. It was also after he passed away that I had the opportunity to fill the vacancy after a few years of hard work. Chen Huanling nodded and said. Okay, I got it. Xiao Chen nodded. It seems that the Xiao family is no longer a threat to me, but I don't know where Xiao Chen is. But if you have Xiao Chen's whereabouts, don't act rashly. Report to me immediately, and I will find a way to deal with it. Okay, no problem. Xiao En's and Chen Huanling nodded. Xiao Chen didn't say anything else and directly left the warrior guild with Lu Shuangshuang. Uncle Chen, congratulations. Vice team leader Yang will take over the position of team leader. Xiao En said with a smile. Well, in our Chen family, he is the only one who can live up to expectations. Chen Huanling said proudly. After leaving the warrior guild, Xiao Chen directly said to Lu Shuangshuang, I will send you back. Well. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. Will you still look for me? There will be a chance, Xiao Chen was a little speechless by Lu Shuangshuang's question. Indeed, if he sent Lu Shuangshuang back, he might not come to the warrior guild for a long time, and he would not look for Lu Shuangshuang. It's okay. I know, you want to look for your father. Lu Shuangshuang laughed. Besides, don't think that I want to do that with you. I won't. Even if you come looking for me, I won't agree. Well. Xiao Chen knew that Lu Shuangshuang was comforting him, telling him not to care too much about her feelings. However, the more it was like this, the more Xiao Chen felt that Lu Shuangshuang was good. This girl, from his initial hatred of her to gradually getting to know her, made Xiao Chen see a different Lu Shuangshuang. You don't lack money now. At your age, you should go to university, right? Xiao Chen thought for a while and asked, are you willing to go to university? Can I help you? With Xiao Chen's current identity as Yang Jiannan, it was not difficult for him to go to any university. As long as he arranged to go there in the name of a mission, it would be fine, and no one would ask too much. Lu Shuangshuang was a little confused. How could she not want to go to university? When she attended the class reunion, she saw that everyone was going to university, and she was the only one who entered society early. She was a little envious. However, she didn't dare to go to school now, because it was too far away from her. She had long forgotten the things in the books. Even if she went, she didn't know if she could keep up, and she didn't know if her mentality could return to her school days. Let me think about it. Lu Shuangshuang didn't agree immediately. She wanted to go, but she was a little worried that she would not fit in. With her current experience in society, it would be difficult for her to have a real friendship with her classmates when she went to school. She would worry about gains and losses a lot, and she could no longer make friends aimlessly like when she was a student. Well, let me know when you think about it. Xiao Chen nodded. They arrived at Lu Shuangshuang's home. Xiao Chen sent her back home, but he didn't follow her in. He returned to the car. He was going to visit the Cheng family. Of course, he couldn't use his current appearance to go to the Cheng family. He was going to change his clothes and use his original appearance. Xiao Chen parked the car in a parking lot casually. He got out of the car, changed his appearance casually, and walked in the direction of the Xiao family. Of course, he wasn't going to greet the Xiao family. He was going to sneak into his room, change his clothes, and leave. What he was going to do tonight would probably make the Cheng family furious the next day. At that time, he would go to the Xiao family to find them. It would be bad if they knew that he was back. Although he was strong now, the Xiao family wasn't. With his current identity as a wanted criminal, he had no way to deter others to protect the Xiao family. The Cheng family liked to vent their anger on others the most, so if they found out that he went to the Cheng family from the Xiao family, it would definitely be bad for the Xiao family. Xiao Chen didn't dare to guarantee that his second uncle had good acting skills. It would be bad if they found out that there was something wrong with him. He might as well just come and leave. With Xiao Chen's current strength, sneaking into the Xiao family's house and entering his room was a piece of cake. Xiao Chen didn't even turn on the lights. He carefully entered the bathroom, closed the door, and turned on the hot water to take a shower. Previously, he was intimate with Lu Shuangshuang, but he couldn't take a shower in the warrior guild. He could only come back to take a shower. He didn't want to go to the Cheng family covered in sweat. Xiao Chen's six senses were strong, so he could see things in the dark. Therefore, he could take a shower in the dark. The other members of the Xiao family wouldn't notice that someone had come back from outside the villa. As for the sound of water, the walls of the villa were very soundproof, so it was impossible to hear it from outside. After taking a shower, Xiao Chen didn't put on the clothes from before. Instead, he took a bath towel and walked out of the bathroom. However, as soon as he entered the bedroom, he was shocked. Because there was someone sitting in the dark on the bed in his bedroom. This situation gave Xiao Chen a shock. And the person in the dark was also shocked. She didn't expect that there would be someone in the room. She subconsciously screamed and turned on the switch of the dual control lights on the side of the bed. In fact, in his shock, Xiao Chen had already seen who this person was. However, he didn't expect that she would suddenly turn on the lights. This change made Xiao Chen's body slightly stiffen. Brother? The person on the bed was Xiao Xiao. She looked at the naked Xiao Chen in the middle of the room and was a little stunned. Chapter 603. Xiao Xiao, why are you here? Xiao Chen was also a bit puzzled. What is my sister doing? She is sitting on my bed in the dark. If I weren't brave enough, would have thought it was a ghost. Brother, you. Although Xiao Xiao was frightened, when she saw that the person in front of her was Xiao Chen, she didn't have much panic. Instead, she looked up and down. What are you looking at? Xiao Chen was embarrassed and quickly covered his body with a bath towel. Brother, you are too stingy. We are brother and sister. When we were young, we often took a bath together. Xiao Xiao said disapprovingly, can I still take advantage of you? That's not it. After all, we have grown up. Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed. Just like now, if I say that I want to watch you take a bath, you probably won't agree. Just watch. Do you want me to wash it for you now? Xiao Xiao still disagreed. I'm afraid of you. Xiao Chen thought that Xiao Xiao was joking and said, you turn around first. I will put on my clothes. Hey, you often put on clothes for me when I was young. Did you look at me for nothing? I look at you now, and you are like this? Xiao Xiao pouted and stared at Xiao Chen with some dissatisfaction. Can it be the same? Xiao Chen was a little ashamed. Forget it. Who cares about looks? Xiao Xiao turned her head away. Xiao Chen quickly took out the clothes from the closet and put them on. When he left home, he didn't bring any clothes. Even the miss didn't have winter clothes, so he could only go home to change. Okay, said Xiao Chen. Only then did Xiao Xiao turn her head. Brother, are you all right? Why did you come back suddenly? If there is nothing, you don't have to sneak back. Xiao Chen sighed and said, I came back secretly to change clothes. But you, Xiao Xiao, why did you suddenly appear in my room? I missed you, so I came to sit with you. Xiao Xiao blushed. She didn't even react like this when she saw Xiao Chen naked, but now she felt a little embarrassed and put down the photo in her hand. Xiao Chen glanced at it. It was a photo of him and Xiao Xiao during the Chinese New Year last year. At that time, Xiao Xiao had a cold expression on her face, and the two of them had only taken a photo at the request of her family. However, Xiao Chen had always cared about his sister, so he placed the photo on the bedside table. However, when Xiao Chen looked at the bedside table, he realized that the photo of his goddess, Shen Jingxian, had been closed and placed upside down on the bedside table. Thinking about Shen Jingxuan's photo, Xiao Chen found it a little funny. Although he used to feel like a hedonistic young master, in reality, he was no different from a loser. He always had his goddess's photo on his bed. Xiao Chen didn't ask much, nor did he find it strange. He knew that Xiao Xiao's indifference to him was actually to protect him. He just asked, how's your family recently? How's Grandpa's health? Did anyone come looking for trouble? Not really. My family is very good. Grandpa's health is getting better. When Xiao Xiao said this, her eyes were full of admiration. Brother, you are really amazing. You are so amazing. Why did you have to pretend in the past? It's not pretending. Xiao Chen knew that Xiao Xiao probably wouldn't believe him even if he explained. What about the family business? Did the Xia family betray us because of me? No, the Xia family has always been very well behaved and cooperative with our family. Xiao Xiao shook her head and said, Brother, Xia Huang of the Xia family is not bad. He is much better than that Xia Chen. That's good. This was also what Xiao Chen was most worried about. He was afraid that after he was wanted, others would alienate the Xiao family, but now it seemed that these people were not bad. Xiao Chen didn't make a mistake. Xiao Xiao, if there's nothing else, I will leave first. You are leaving now. Xiao was a little disappointed. I thought you could stay tonight, don't you want to sleep if I stay? Xiao Chen smiled. I want to sleep with you. Xiao said instead. Together. Xiao Chen was stunned and said, you and me? Together? Yeah, brother, why do you always think about these complicated things? Didn't we often sleep together when we were young? You even hugged me to sleep. Xiao said, it must be after you slept with Shen Jingxian, so your thoughts became complicated. Xiao Chen suddenly broke into a sweat. How did it involve Shen Jingxian again? Xiao seems to have always been displeased with Shen Jingxian. He didn't know if it was the inherent hostility of a sister-in-law to a sister-in-law. Next time. I am going to the Qing family today to do some business, said Xiao Chen. Go to the Qing family? Xiao was stunned. Brother, why are you going to the Qing family? To see Qing Menjing? That's not right. Doesn't she live alone in the villa? No, my father. The mission of your uncle's disappearance was handled by Qing Nanlu, the vice president of the warrior guild of the Qing family at that time. Although Qing Nanlu is dead, I think Qing Xiaofan and Qing Mengqiang should know about it. I will ask them. Xiao Chen was not afraid to tell these things to Xiao, because even Xiao Chen had to admire Xiao Zhao's acting skills. She could even be a movie queen. You are going? Just like that? Isn't that exposed? Xiao was shocked. Will the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau arrest you? How about I go to Qing Mengqiang to ask for you? No need. If you don't like him, don't contact him in the future. Xiao Chen said, I said last time that if you don't want to marry, don't marry. No one can force you in the future. If you find someone you really like, I will support you. Xiao Zhao's face turned red again. I am not afraid of being exposed now. I am already wanted. Can it be worse? Now the Qing family should be afraid of me. I have nothing to fear. They dare not do anything to me. Xiao Chen smiled. Okay, then be careful. Xiao said, I heard Qing Mengqiang vaguely mention that his father is not ordinary. You have to be careful. I will be careful. Xiao Chen nodded. Qing Xiaofan is not ordinary? I didn't see anything unusual, but this was probed by Xiao. He must be careful. Then I will go? Xiao nodded. Xiao Chen hurriedly got up and was ready to go out, but he was hugged by Xiao from behind. Brother, Xiao Chen was stunned and turned his head. Xiao, what's wrong? Nothing. I just want to hug you. Xiao blinked and said. Oh. Xiao Chen smiled. Brother, aren't you a siscon? Why are you not happy at all? Xiao asked. Don't talk about me. I think you are the one who has a complicated mind. Xiao Chen glared at her. I'm just kidding. Xiao stuck out her tongue. Okay, I'm leaving. Xiao Chen rubbed Xiao Zhao's head helplessly, turned around and left, disappearing into the darkness outside the villa. Xiao looked at the back of Xiao Chen. She was a little dazed. She turned off the light and lay on Xiao Chen's bed. She planned to stay here tonight. He came all the way to the Qing family. Xiao Chen had been here many times, so he was familiar with the way. He directly found Qing Zhongfan's villa. To Xiao Chen's surprise, Qing Mengqiang was also there. The two people were talking about something. Xiao Chen didn't go in directly. Instead, he listened on the side to see what they were talking about. Dad, Xiao Chen disappeared recently. My relationship with Xiao is also ruined. What should we do next? Qing Mengqiang looked a little anxious and paced around. What are you panicking for? Qing Zhongfan frowned and said, You are pacing left and right in front of me. You are shaking me to death. It is impossible for you to take over the Xiao family now. We have shed all pretense of cordiality with the Xiao family. The Xiao family recently relied on the Xie family. It is no longer the broken Xiao family. This is not the main point. The main point is that Xiao Chen has disappeared now. We can't target him according to the intention of the people behind you. If we don't kill Xiao Chen, will they still support us? Cheng Mengqiang was a little worried. Xiao Chen is the white fox. None of us expected this. This guy has been hiding his strength. There is nothing you can do if you can't deal with him. Those people didn't say anything, but I'm afraid they will not support us in the future. Cheng Xiaofan sighed, this is also inevitable. Do you think they will still support us as before without benefits? That's true. Cheng Mengqiang was a little disappointed. But it doesn't matter. You will be promoted eventually. Even if the Qing family can't be promoted to a real martial arts family, it will still be the boss of Songning. Cheng Xiaofan said, when you are promoted, I will also leave. When I return to the sect, I will see if I can make contributions and find a way to take care of the Qing family. Ah, Dad, are you leaving? Cheng Mengqiang was shocked. Xiao Chen disappeared, so my undercover mission over these years is over. It's time to go back. Cheng Xiaofan sighed, but you don't have to worry. I will leave after you confirm the position of the young master. Dad, if you knew this would happen, you would have killed Xiao Chen yourself. Cheng Mengqiang said with hatred, you shouldn't have been so afraid at that time. No, the sect behind me wants to kill Xiao Chen and the Xiao family, but we can't let others know that we did it, and we can't involve the sect behind it. They seem to want to lure someone out. Cheng Xiaofan said. Lure who? I don't know the details. After Cheng Xiaofan answered this sentence subconsciously, he was stunned because the voice that asked was not Cheng Mengqiang, but another abrupt voice. He turned around in fright, only to see Xiao Chen standing at the door with a faint smile on his face. Xiao Chen. Cheng Xiaofan's eyes widened, and he looked at Xiao Chen incredulously. He was not afraid, but he said strangely, you still dare to show up? Ha ha ha, Xiao Chen, you actually took the initiative to come to me? Cheng Mengqiang was also very happy when he saw it. He was still worried about Xiao Chen hiding and not showing up. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Chen appeared by himself. Chapter 604. It's really strange. Why don't I dare to show up? Xiao Chen smiled and looked at Cheng Xiaofan. Isn't it strange for you to say this? Don't tell me this is a tiger's den. Xiao Chen, you heard what we said just now, right? Do you think you can still leave? Cheng Xiaofan looked at Xiao Chen coldly. He didn't expect Xiao Chen to be so bold. He actually dared to come here. He didn't know what death was. I heard it. It turns out that the mastermind behind the scenes is really your Qing family. Xiao Chen couldn't help but sigh. To be honest, because of Menjing, I didn't want to do anything to the Qing family, and I didn't want to believe that the Qing family was the one who harmed my Xiao family. But now, you admitted it yourself, so I can only be merciless. You? Merciless? Cheng Mengqiang listened to Xiao Chen's words as if he had heard a big joke. Ha 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 ha, Xiao Chen, you don't know what to do now that you have a little strength? Yes, I admit that you have the strength of the peak of the 8th stage of inner force, but so what? Do you think we are really afraid of you? I only know that you are trash who just reached the 4th stage of inner force. Xiao Chen looked at Cheng Mengqiang and said faintly. I'm trash. You were trash before. How dare you say that I'm trash? You are really shameless. Xiao Chen, do you really think that my Qing family is weak? Cheng Mengqiang knew that Xiao Chen couldn't leave the Qing family, so he didn't hide anything. Besides, Xiao Chen just heard their biggest secret, so he didn't mind letting him know more before he died. Oh, isn't it? Xiaochen asked with a smile. Xiaofan was so angry that his teeth itched. Looking at Xiaochen's annoying expression, he finally couldn't help but say, "Then you're wrong. It's true that the other members of the Qing family are weak, but I, Xiaofan, may look like I'm only at stage 7 inner force, but in reality." After saying this, Xiaofan's devil chi suddenly appeared. At this moment, his level 3 devil master strength was revealed, causing Xiaochen to be shocked. Level 3 fiend master? Xiaochen didn't expect Xiaofan to have the strength of a stage 3 devil. This was completely different from his previous stage 7 inner force. Huh, how is it? Are you scared now? Mengxiang laughed happily when he saw Xiaochen's surprised look. Xiaochen, did you think you were hiding your strength? Do you think everyone else is a fool? To tell you the truth, I, Mengxiang, have been targeting you and wanting to kill you. That Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng are my subordinates. If it wasn't for me being afraid of exposing our Qing family and implicating the sect behind my father, I would have sent you to heaven myself. Oh, you're lucky you didn't do it yourself. Otherwise, you'd be dead by now, Xiaochen said indifferently. Humph. Mengxiang smiled coldly. Xiaochen, if you kneel and beg for mercy now, I can leave your corpse intact. Oh, but before that, can you tell me who is behind you and wants to deal with the Xiao family? Xiaochen asked. You don't need to know. Xiaofan smiled coldly and said, Today is the day you die. Is that so? Xiaochen smiled, I know you're a stage 3 devil master, but I'm still standing here and not running. Don't you think it's strange? Xiaofan was slightly stunned. I can defeat that martial master, Yang Tan. Don't you think it's strange as well? Xiaochen continued to ask. What do you mean? Xiaofan frowned, you're a martial master? What I mean is, it might take me some effort to kill you, but killing Mengxiang is as easy as flipping my hand. Your son can die now. Xiaochen chuckled and looked at Mengxiang maliciously. Meng Chang, leave quickly. Don't stay here. I'll deal with him. Xiaofan finally thought of the battle between Xiaochen and Yang Tan. Since Yang Tan was a stage 1 martial master and was defeated by Xiaochen, then Xiaochen's strength could not be underestimated. However, he was not afraid. He was a stage 3 devil master, much stronger than Yang Tan. Mengxiang's expression changed. Xiaofan could defeat Xiaochen, but it did not mean that he was a match for Xiaochen. He subconsciously retreated, wanting to leave this place. Too late. Xiaochen threw a fireball at him without any warning. How could Mengxiang, a stage 4 inner strength martial artist, dodge it? He was hit by the fireball with a hoot sound. His whole body was on fire. Ouch! Mengxiang screamed. He quickly fell to the ground and rolled around. Xiaofan was shocked and angry. He glared at Xiaochen. The next moment, he made his move. A fire dragon shot out from his hand and pounced at Xiaochen. It turned out that he was also a devil cultivator who used fire attribute martial arts. Isn't this too weak? Xiaochen directly threw an ice ball and extinguished the fire dragon. You are also a stage 3 devil master? Your level is really low. They were both stage 3 martial masters. Xiaochen felt that this guy gave off a completely different feeling from the stage 3 martial rider in Lego Town. Of course, this Xiaofan was weak. It was also because Xiaochen had leveled up. How is this possible? You are an ice and fire dual cultivator? Xiaofan looked at Xiaochen in shock. They were both devil cultivators. He had never heard of any devil cultivator who could dual cultivate ice and fire. Normal martial artists knew that ice and fire were incompatible. How was it possible for them to dual cultivate? What do you think? Xiaochen did not answer. Instead, he asked, "Now can you tell me who is behind you?" "Humph, it's just that I didn't expect you to dual cultivate ice and fire." "Do you really think I can't do anything to you?" Cheng Xiaofan sneered and continued to attack Xiao Chen. "Oh, I don't know if you can do anything to me. But your son can't do anything to my fire. He's about to be burned to death." "How tragic." Xiao Chen sighed. "He is my brother-in-law. It's too tragic for him to die like this. Menjing can't scold me when I get home, right?" Cheng Xiaofan was stunned. Only then did he see that his son was still rolling on the ground. He suddenly said angrily, "You wait for me first. I'll deal with you later." "Oh, do whatever you want." Xiao Chen crossed his legs and sat on the sofa in the villa's living room. He watched with interest as Cheng Xiaofan extinguished the fire. Cheng Xiaofan first found some clothes and bedsheets and began to help Cheng Mengqiang extinguish the fire. But after putting it out for a long time, he couldn't do anything. This was still because Xiao Chen was lenient. Otherwise, a fireball would have turned him into a pile of ashes. However, Xiao Chen still had to ask some questions. So in order to prevent Cheng Xiaofan from doing something desperate, he didn't plan to kill Cheng Mengqiang. Naturally, he wouldn't take advantage of this time to sneak attack Cheng Xiaofan. Cheng Xiaofan busied himself for a long time, but there was no effect. Cheng Mengqiang rolled faster and faster on the ground. He screamed again and again, but the fire couldn't be controlled at all. After a while, Cheng Xiaofan saw that it couldn't go on like this. He rushed to the bathroom and got a washing machine's inlet pipe from somewhere. He began to sprinkle water on Cheng Mengqiang, but it still didn't have any effect. Cheng Mengqiang was still screaming. His skin was burned black. It was a horrible sight. That Xiao Chen. Cheng Xiaofan had no choice but to ask Xiao Chen for help. He had never seen such a strange martial art. It could even burn people endlessly. If he couldn't put it out, wouldn't he be burned alive? What for? Xiao Chen curled his lips and asked unhurriedly. That. Can you help me put out the fire? What do you want to know? I'll tell you, okay? Cheng Xiaofan only had this one son. He didn't have any illegitimate children. If he was burned to death, then he would cry to death. Oh, you should have said it earlier. Xiao Chen threw a water ball, and the fire on Cheng Mengqiang's body was extinguished. However, he was also gasping for breath on the ground. Obviously, even if he was a martial artist, he was burned badly and almost died. Cheng Xiaofan was very angry in his heart. Did I say it earlier? Wouldn't it be fine if you don't burn? However, he didn't dare to be serious with Xiao Chen. He had tasted Xiao Chen's power. At this time, Cheng Mengqiang was half dead from the fire. He couldn't escape. He could only lie on the ground. He was afraid that if he angered Xiao Chen would really kill Cheng Mengqiang. Xiao Chen, what do you want to know? Ask. Cheng Xiaofan could only swallow his anger for his son. There was no other way. He wanted to kill Xiao Chen at once, but it was impossible. If he dared not, then Xiao Chen would definitely kill Cheng Mengqiang. Tell me what you have done to the Xiao family all these years. Xiao Chen said, if you say it well, I'll forget about today's matter. If you say it badly, even if Menjing scolds me, I will kill Cheng Mengqiang. This kid is too wicked. He even wants to occupy my sister. He really doesn't know what's good for him. That. Young hero Xiao, can't I say it? Don't threaten me first. Cheng Xiaofan had no choice but to say, in the beginning, it was my uncle Cheng Nanlu's idea to deal with the Xiao family. He is a martial artist like me. Martial artist? Xiao Chen frowned. Recently, he had heard this word more than once. There were several kinds of sections. Now, the common sects in the secular world were basically ordinary sections. As for the pugilistic world, it was a higher level. People from the pugilistic world rarely appeared in the secular world. For example, Granny Nanshan and Kai Wujin were from the pugilistic world. Xiao Chen hadn't expected Cheng Nanlu and Cheng Zhongfan to be from the pugilistic world too. This made his heart tremble. If it was an ordinary sect, as the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team B, it wouldn't be a problem for him to investigate. However, the martial arts world was not his scope. Xiao Chen didn't know if Team A had the authority to investigate, but he didn't. It seemed that his opponent was really strong. However, Xiao Chen didn't understand. Was a small Xiao family worth the martial artists taking action? Even the true martial families and ordinary true martial sects would disdain to make a move on the Xiao family, right? Not to mention the martial artists. Chapter 605. Yes, we are all from the martial arts world, and we have our own rules. We can't just attack the families and ordinary people in the secular world, so I haven't done anything to you. Instead, I trained Xiao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng through Meng Chong to attack you. Cheng Zhongfan explained, I didn't expect you to hide your strength so well. Your strength is actually not inferior to mine, this was the truth of Cheng Zhongfan. In just one exchange, he knew that he was not 100% sure that he could defeat Xiao Chen. In that case, he would not take the risk. Why? Did the Xiao family offend you? Xiao Chen asked angrily. They didn't offend me. Actually, I don't know the sect's intentions. Cheng Zhongfan said, my uncle Cheng Nanlu and I are only outer sect disciples of the martial arts world sections. We know very little, but the sect promised that if we deal with the Xiao family, they will help us upgrade the Cheng family to a real martial arts family. What's the name of your sect? What did they just say about luring someone out to deal with us? Xiao Chen asked after some thought. Our sect is called the Quishan sect. It's a demonic sect. As for why, I don't know. They just said that they want us to deal with the Xiao family as much as possible so that they can lure out the person they are looking for. Cheng Zhongfan said, they won't tell me the specifics, and I don't dare to ask. What else do you know? What kind of trial mission did my father go on? Xiao Chen frowned. This Cheng Zhongfan was a lackey. I don't know. The whole mission was arranged by the Quishan sect for my uncle. I only know that they went to explore the ruins of the Fire Mountain in the Hakanamata Desert. I don't know the specifics, so I didn't ask, Cheng Zhongfan said. Cheng Zhongfan, you're making things difficult for me. You don't know anything, and you want me to let you go? Xiao Chen looked at Cheng Zhongfan coldly. But I really don't know. I'm just a nobody. I'm here to carry out this mission. Cheng Zhongfan said, my uncle Cheng Nanlu might know about the trial, but he is no longer here. Besides, don't think that I'm really afraid of you. In fact, if it weren't for Cheng Mengqiang, I would have killed you already. Huh? Xiao Chen stood up. Look at you. You think you're pretty strong? Let me tell you, I've killed more than one martial artist. I've killed many martial artists. I've even reached the 3rd level. I've killed a few. Why don't we spar? If you don't attack Cheng Mengqiang, I'll fight you fairly. Cheng Zhongfan said. That's hard to say. I might accidentally injure him. Xiao Chen smiled. His expression seemed to be telling Cheng Zhongfan that he would definitely accidentally injure him. You're shameless. Cheng Zhongfan was furious. Huh? I'm shameless, right? Then I'll burn Cheng Mengqiang to death first. Xiao Chen said unhurriedly. Fine. What do you want? Cheng Zhongfan was about to be driven mad by Xiao Chen. Elder Heaven Ancestor, can you let this person be my spy? He can give me information or something. Xiaofan asked the elder heaven ancestor in his heart. He thought that if Cheng Zhongfan returned to the sect, it would be good to ask him to help inquire about some things. That can't be done unless you let an Xiaoma take over your body. But if you take over such a trash, an Xiaoma will lose his original ability. It's not worth it. The elder heaven ancestor thought about it and said. Master, don't let me take over his body. He's too weak, and his body isn't suitable for me to cultivate. I'll be crippled after I go over. Master, don't tell me you don't want me anymore. And Xiaoma was also shocked and said quickly. Oh, forget it then. Xiaofan felt that this and Xiaoma was still very useful. It wasn't worth wasting him like this. Forget it. Cheng Zhongfan, ask me about my father's disappearance again. Xiaofan also saw that this guy really didn't know. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a crazy expression. Then I will find a chance to ask you again. Don't think about waiting for me to leave to take revenge on the Xiao family. If you take revenge on the Xiao family, I can also secretly take revenge on the Cheng family. You saw the situation just now, right? If I burn the Cheng family, you won't even be able to put out the fire. Yes, yes. Cheng Zhongfan's heart suddenly trembled. If Xiaofan didn't remind him, he really wanted to encourage the Cheng family to deal with the Xiao family. But now that he thought about it, it was tantamount to courting death. He couldn't crack Xiao Chen's strange fire martial skill. If he really burned the Cheng family, then he could only cry. Don't think about looking for me. Even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau can't find me, let alone a useless person like you. Xiaofan reminded him. He wasn't afraid of anything, but if this guy said with great fanfare that Xiaofan appeared in Songning, it would bring him some trouble. I understand this. Cheng Zhongfan nodded. If I say so, how can I ask for information for you? I'm not stupid. Yes, I hope we can have a pleasant cooperation. You said it yourself earlier that you want to return to your sect. I can't find your sect, but Cheng Mengqiang is right here. Even if he's my brother-in-law, if you don't behave yourself, I'll kill him all the same. Xiaofan threatened. I know. Cheng Zhongfan responded gloomily. He never thought that Xiaofan, who he had always looked down on, would one day sit on his head and shit on him. He didn't dare to resist. Things were really different now. Oh, then goodbye. Xiaofan nodded and turned to leave. He said, you can sneak up on me. Humph, I'm not that stupid. You must be ready. As soon as I sneak up on you, you sneak up on Cheng Mengqiang and then say that I deserved it. Do you really think I'm a fool? Cheng Zhongfan snorted. Oh, up to you. Xiaofan found it funny and left. Who? Looking at the back of Xiaofan leaving, Cheng Zhongfan rushed to Cheng Mengqiang. Mengqiang, how are you? Are you okay? Dad, I'm fine. Xiaofan obviously wanted to torture me. If he wanted to kill me, it would be easy, but he didn't do so. I hate him. Cheng Mengqiang said with hatred, I want revenge. Revenge is a must, but not now. Your strength is too low, and I can't expose my strength in public. If my identity is investigated, it will affect the sect. Cheng Zhongfan shook his head. Mengqiang, don't worry. Dad will definitely take revenge for you, but you have to endure it first. I understand. Cheng Mengqiang nodded heavily, his eyes flashing with hatred. Xiaofan left the Cheng family and walked on the streets of Songning in the cold winter. Looking at the bustling night view on the street, he felt a little emotional. He thought of Xiao Xiao again. When he was young, he always took Xiao Xiao to stroll on the streets around the new year. At that time, Xiao Xiao was like a little follower who stuck to him. It had been many years since he had such a feeling. However, when he suddenly thought of Xiao Xiao's unusual behavior today, Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. After that, Xiao Xiao had been alienating me, but now, she began to stick to me? Is it because I didn't have strength before, and after revealing my strength, Xiao began to treat me well again? It shouldn't be. Xiaochen felt that Xiao wasn't that kind of snobbish girl. Otherwise, the Qing family was so strong, and Cheng Mengxiang also hinted to her that he had an extraordinary father, but Xiao wasn't moved. After thinking about it, Xiaochen suddenly thought of the photo of Shen Jingxian that was taken off the bed. Xiaochen's heart moved slightly. Could it be that I grew up and went to chase other girls, and I didn't play with her anymore, so she was angry? This was possible, but Xiaochen felt a little funny. This was human nature. Xiao actually threw a little tantrum at him. However, it was understandable that she was younger than me. When can I hold Xiao's hand and walk on the street full of New Year's goods like when I was a child? Xiaochen felt that he was a little lonely now. He must find a way to change all this. At this moment, he didn't change his face. Anyway, as long as Xiaofan wasn't stupid, he probably wouldn't chase him. From the last sentence that he said, he was already a little timid. Xiaofan was probably really afraid that Xiaochen would come back and harm the Qing family, and he really couldn't think of a way to deal with his samadhi true fire. Suddenly, Xiaochen heard footsteps coming from behind him, which made his heart tremble slightly. But then, a smile flashed at the corner of his mouth. A pair of somewhat cold little hands reached into the back of his coat and stuck to the skin of his chest. With a trace of coolness, it made Xiaochen feel a little warm. Xiao, why are you here? Xiaochen said with some surprise. He hadn't felt this feeling for many years. When he was a child, Xiao always liked to do this and let him warm her hands. I couldn't sleep, so I came out for a stroll. I saw you. Xiao smiled and said, Brother, are we fated? Can we all be born in the Xiao family if we aren't fated? Xiaochen couldn't help but laugh after listening. That's true. Xiao stuck out her tongue and pulled out her little hand. She held Xiaochen's arm and said, accompany me to buy some New Year's goods. I haven't come out for a long time. Do second uncle and grandpa know that you ran out by yourself? Asked Xiaochen. Of course they don't know. Besides, I'm already so big. I don't need to tell them when I come out. Xiao said and naturally leaned on Xiaochen's body. Ahem. Xiaochen's face suddenly became a little unnatural. He felt a strange softness on his arm. He couldn't help but say, Xiao, why are you wearing so little when you come out? You have grown up. You have to pay attention to your relationship with me. Xiao was stunned and then thought of something. She blushed and said, Brother, why are your thoughts always so complicated? We were like this every time when we were young, and you didn't think much about it. Now, you must have slept with Shen Jingxian a lot, and that's why you became like this. You think about problems in a perverted way. She has led you astray. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.